live, Tom? No, on your phone. Oh, is there like a start button on that? Look and see if there's like a start.
No, there's people watching already.
No, there's people waiting. Can you see it? Are you seeing the live stream or you just see the picture? Oh, looks like it's starting now with an ad. Let's see.
Can't wait to play my atme. Greater Goods texting.
Yeah, but they were already on there waiting. All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Guac Talk, your avocado podcast. I'm your host, Tom Siddons, and I'm joined by Julian Lara of Lara Farms.
Hello, hi everybody.
And today we're here to sample a few different late season or maybe mid-season, some mid-season avocados, answer your questions about avocado growing, avocado eating, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my decision to transition from a corporate job to become a full-time farmer. But before we start out, I want to share with you a story that happened to Julian and myself this week. Like Kamala Harris would say, I want to inspire you to become inspired. Many of you who follow Julian, myself, the other local YouTube fruit people, Paul, Fruitful Trees, you've heard us talk about a new variety of avocado called the atme. Julian discovered the atme along with one of the scientists over here at the University of Florida Tropical Fruit Research Center last year.
Right.
There's only one tree in the world that grows the atme. The atme is a delicious, I mean a mind-blowing, like industry-changing avocado. And Julian is in the process of propagating and growing more so that you guys can all get atmes for your backyard. So Julian came over one day to let me taste the atme.
Right.
Loved it. My wife loved it. He left me one. So I was freshly picked. So I gave it a few days to soften up, and I went way out into my farm to film a little taste test video. I love the taste of that avocado so much, I actually came back in the house, cut a little spear for my wife. I was like, you have to try this. Now, you gotta imagine, when you're an avocado farmer's wife, if your husband is coming to you saying, you have to taste this avocado, it's either gotta taste really, really good or really, really bad, right? It's gotta be an outlier. And the atme is an outlier.
To make it memorable.
Right. Like, why would I drive back in the house if it was just run of the mill?
Right.
Okay.
If it's in the middle, it's not gonna be. It's gonna be like, yeah, give it to me. It's nothing else.
We'll talk about it, but I ain't gonna have my wife taste it.
Right.
Okay. So I still had about 3/4 the avocado left because the atme is also not only a beast, it's a big avocado, it's a heavy avocado, but it's also dense.
Yeah, it's very dense.
Right? Okay, so a 3-pound atme, you're probably not gonna eat as much as you would like a 3-pound Simmons because it's just gonna sit inside you like a big thick piece of cheesecake, right? It's a dense avocado.
Yeah.
So I had a lot left over, so I drove over to some friends of mine who run a fruit stand, and they buy avocados and mangoes and other fruit from me. And just to hang out and be friendly, I think I had a shipment of mangoes to drop off for them that day. I went over, I had the atme, I cut them a slice, I said, why don't you taste this? While we were there, 2 minivans pull up. It's one family, it's like a whole extended family, uncles, cousins, grandma, grandpa. They're down here in the agricultural district buying fruit.
It was those people that were at the farm the other day?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so where do you hear this? Where do you hear this?
Yeah, because they tried it. And I was like,
Yes.
wow, you're one of the few people on planet Earth who's ever tried the atme.
Right. So they get out of the minivan and one or two of them's like, hey, Sleepy Lizard, I watch your videos. So I was like, oh, come on. So we're taking pictures and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I said, here, try this. And I gave all of them a little bite of the atme.
Yeah, and they're like, oh.
They loved it, right? They were loving it. They were loving it. Okay, the one guy has 2 little kids. And you wouldn't know it by meeting them. But the one little boy has some pretty serious health issues. Okay. In addition to that, I didn't know this at the time. In addition to that, and I didn't know this at the time, their mom said, so it's still dad raising 2 like preteen health issues. He was recently spent a few nights, even recently, in Miami Children's, I have since learned. I didn't know any of this at the time. They just ate the avocados, they just loved them, right? This was about 2 months ago. Mangoes were still in season.
Kit mangoes.
Yeah. Fast forward to last week. I go over to hang out with Julian. We sit in his office and we plot and scheme the future of the tropical fruit market, right?
And watch Curb Your
And we,
Enthusiasm.
and we watch and quote Curb Your Enthusiasm, right? A car pulls up, the guy jumps out. It's the dad of these two young boys. And he said, hey, Tom. And I was like, he's like, you remember him? I'm like, yeah, you're the guy that was with the family. We tasted the fruit. He says, well, I'm here to buy some trees. He said, I want to plant some fruit trees. I want to plant some avocado trees. And I said, well, I thought you already had them. He says, no, we just have a backyard. I'm not a grower. I don't do any of this. He goes, the whole reason we're doing this is because 2 months ago, when I met you at that fruit stand and we tasted that avocado, my son, who has the health issue, is a very finicky eater. I don't know if he has trouble, due to his health issues or what it is. And since he's tried that avocado you gave us, he now eats and requests avocados.
The child.
This is the kid that's sick.
Really?
Yeah. And the dad said, I'm always looking for things to try to feed him. And then every time I give him avocado, he says, oh, Daddy, I remember being at the fruit stand.
And let me tell you, for a kid, that's an acquired taste.
It really is. Yeah. And so tasting this atme that Julian discovered 2 years ago got this kid who's got some health issues to eat more, right?
Yeah.
And it's inspired the dad to start growing trees in his backyard. And he said he's specifically doing this as an activity he could do with his two children,
right,
because he's always looking for things as part of the therapy of, raising two boys who lost their mom 7 years ago.
Yeah.
To cancer.
Well, that's really a nice story because it's rare that you find something that will motivate you to go outside and do something instead of staying indoors,
Right,
and watching videos.
keeping active. And then this will give them, when those boys are older, they can look back and remember a few trees that day, I believe, right?
Yeah, which will last them forever.
For the grandchildren even.
I mean, you go out to a restaurant and spend $60, $80 on a restaurant, or $100, the next day it's down the toilet. And with this, the tree, with like something that even your kids like, it's gonna last you a lifetime.
Yeah, legacy.
Well,
Legacy.
Oh, sorry, we're getting a phone call. Let's see. Should we take the phone call?
Is it a live? You think it'll be a live call? We didn't
It's
announce
not-
for calling
it's
yet.
not, and we haven't announced, but
No,
we're getting calls anyways.
The reason Julian has his phone on is because we're going to let you guys call in and we're going to play your voice on the podcast and answer your questions. So if the phone rings, sorry about that. We have to have it on to take your calls.
Correct.
So anyway, I just found that to be an inspirational story. Something that you and I didn't even work together on, but it connected. Like, we were connected in that. You discovered the fruit. I helped them try the fruit. They went to your nursery to buy the fruit. They learned the location of your nursery to buy the tree.
Right.
They learned the location of your nursery from watching my videos.
Right, because it's such a new thing. This variety of avocado, atme, such a new thing.
Yeah.
That there's no fruit available. Only because there's only one tree on planet Earth.
Yeah.
And that has to be researched more.
Yeah.
So there's no fruit for sale,
Yeah.
and there won't be any fruit for sale for a long time.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna have to put a tree in my property, which I haven't done yet. I'm gonna.
Yeah, you got to plant your
I
own.
have to plant my
Right?
own. I have a tree that it's ready to be top worked.
Yeah.
That's it's already down to a stump. All I gotta do is get some budwood and graft it on there.
Yeah.
I sent Paul some budwood of the atme, and he received it yesterday in the mail. So
Oh,
he's
good.
gonna top work his Donnie or his
Mislabeled Simmons. Yeah.
But he's going to top work it with atme.
Oh, that's great. Well, I just found that to be a I teared up. Now you were there were other people there. I didn't want anyone to see me crying, and I didn't want to cry in front of this dad who told me the story, and he told me the story in a very cheerful, positive way, but it really did touch me, but it says a lot about the fruit growing community. We're doing more than just growing food for ourselves. If you grow fruit in your backyard, especially avocado, you grow a surplus. Most seasons, even if you grow mango, you're growing a surplus. You're taking them into work. You're giving them to people. You're telling your neighbors to come over and pick them. You're lowering people's burden, their food bill burden monthly. You're providing shade, which lowers the temperature of your house and maybe your neighbor's houses, which requires less energy to be used. You know, you're creating positive memories, because when your little grandbaby is born and you're long gone, and maybe he's got his own wife and kids, he could say, hey, my grandma, your great grandma, put this tree in the yard in 1994, and it's still here today.
A lot of people want to emulate their father or their grandfather. Oh, my grandfather had a farm, and he always had a lot. When I would go there when I was a kid, I would eat all these fruits, and I learned about all these fruits as a kid, and I want to do the same thing for my kids and my grandchildren. I want to have a farm for them to go to.
Yeah, and I think gardening, but particularly growing fruit, particularly growing things that you pick from trees, tree growing, I think parallels life in a lot of ways, because there's decisions you make early on that you're not going to see the results of till 10, 12, 15 years down the road. You know, if you stake your tree and wrap it nice and grow it nice and straight in the early years, it's going to grow into a straight, strong tree. If you throw it in the ground and ignore it, and it grows this way and it grows that way. No, before you disappear, darling, can you make me a cup of coffee? Thank you. Then you're going to wind up with a tree that's all whack and, you know what I mean, out of control.
Right.
It's the same way in life. You know, you get into your teenage years, you start making decisions. Am I going to go to college? Am I going to the military? Am I going to go to a trade school? Am I going to go right to work? Am I just going to be a slacker and not work? Well, all that stuff ain't going to hit you when you're 22, when you're 25, but by the time you start hitting your mid 30s, you know, the stuff you did right early on, you're going to get the benefits from. And the stuff maybe you could have done better early on, you're going to suffer the consequences. It's the same with tree growing. And these boys are going to get to learn that. And you know, while we're on this cheesy topic, I have another inspirational story that Julian doesn't know, but you're connected to this story too. And Noe, you know this one. Remember Diego and his mom?
Yeah.
Okay, years ago, my YouTube channel started taking off, and this kid reaches out to me. He says, hey, can I buy a tree from you? Well, I don't sell trees. And but I was like, you know, we're going back and forth, and I'm like, how old are you? Because I got a vibe it was a young person, you know. Mm-hmm. He says, oh, I'm like 13 or whatever, 14. And I was like, do me a favor, get your mom or dad, and put them on with me, you know. And I texted back and forth with them, and I said, if you're comfortable with it, PayPal me. I told them like $60 or something, mm-hmm. And I'll send. Diego wanted a mango tree. Mm-hmm. I'll send him a mango tree. I went up to you. It was the first day you remember my blue VW bus? Mm-hmm. It was the first day I ever drove it up to your place, and you saw me in the blue bus. Mm-hmm. And you and Kenneth mm-hmm. sold me a bunch of little 1 gallon mangoes, some of which are now bearing fruit in my grove.
Right.
And you guys taught me how to pack it, dry root or whatever you call that.
Bare root.
Bare root packing. You sent me home with some moss. Mm-hmm. And I bagged it up and I sent it out to this kid, Diego. Mm-hmm. I never thought another thing about it. I didn't make any money on it. I just, you know, $60 covered my cost to you and then what I paid in shipping, right? Never thought another thing about it.
So it was like, what, like 4 years ago?
This was 2021. 2021, because I know exactly when it was, because we were still living in the hotel when we had our house fire. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why I said yes to the kid.
Man, and the insurance had to pay for the hotel too?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The hotel in Florida City. Emphasis on ho.
Sucks.
Emphasis on ho, if you know what I'm saying.
That sucks.
Yeah, hotel. So anyway, we're living in this hotel, and I don't know why. I just felt like, let me sell this kid a tree. Let me get this kid a tree, right?
Well, you're doing something positive, and,
yeah.
And you know, you were kind enough to do something nice.
So 2 years goes by, maybe a year and a half. We're back in the house. I'm out in the grove mowing. I'm listening to tunes. My phone rings. I look down. I don't know why. I shut the mower off and I answered the call. Usually when I'm working with heavy, loud equipment, I don't even pay attention to my phone. Blah, blah, blah. I'm so-and-so. I'm Diego's mom. You sold him a mango tree 2 years ago, whatever. I don't even remember much about it until she reminded me. And I was like, oh, here it comes. She's going to want a refund, or, you know, you try to do something nice for someone and now it's going to cost me money. She goes, I just want to say thank you. She said, Diego has this rare disease, and he'll be hospitalized sometimes for months at a time. He's got an inability to digest food, certain foods. And it's something they're working on fixing, and he was making some progress. And she said he gets out of bed exactly 2 times a day. once in the morning to take care of his mango tree,
Right.
and once in the evening to take care of his mango tree. And she said the doctors say like motion and movement and activity is very important to his recovery. And she goes, I just want to thank you for sending us that, that tree.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. And there, I'm out on the mower, the tears are coming down my cheeks. I says, do me a favor, I'm going to text you my wife's number. I said, I want you to tell her this story, because I knew my wife would appreciate it, and I come in from mowing, my wife's like bawling on the couch. But once again, Julian, that was a tree I got from you.
Wow.
I transferred it to them at cost.
Right.
And
Made a difference.
And it made a difference in a young kid's life. You know what I mean?
So it inspired you to to reach out and give him that blessing.
Yeah.
And it was a mutual blessing on both sides.
Yeah, and those things are out there. A lot of times, especially those of us in the agricultural industry, we take a lot of heat. Oh, you're ruining the planet. Oh, you're using chemicals. Oh, you're poisoning the food. It's like, no, we're not. We're doing.
Only one guy called me up asking me if I was organic. You can't be organic.
It don't work.
It doesn't work
No,
down here.
you can't.
You have to be in a fertile area, like
Well, and you also can't feed 8 billion people organically.
Well,
it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, 300 million people, to feed, you need
Just in our country.
a lot of healthy cows and chickens.
Just in our country, right? But I think I've always been in jobs where you get kicked in the gut and no one appreciates what you do. When I was a kid, I was a paper boy. As long as that newspaper was on their front door, everyone loved me. But every now and then, the wind might blow their paper away, or the local newspaper delivery might be a little late. And man, did they chew me out, Or then I was in sales all my life. And sales, it's socially acceptable to hate them. It's like salesmen and attorneys. You can be as mean as you want to us, and we just have to take it.
Yeah.
And we can take it, by the way. We don't care. But, people are like, oh, you just want to sell. You just want to sell. Well, Julian, every time you bought something, someone sold it to you. Mm-hmm. And most of what you buy, you love and you need. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong or bad about that. Then I get into agriculture and I blow up on YouTube, and it's all like, oh, herbicides, pesticides, you guys are killing the earth. You need to be organic. You need to plant from seed, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, but then you get stories like Diego. And you get stories like this little kid, Brian, with the atme avocado. And those are only the ones we're hearing about.
Well, those are like 99% of the feedback we're getting.
Yeah.
Is positive.
Hugely positive feedback, yeah.
That's why I would say 99% of people that are interested in tropical fruit in generally, they are excellent people.
Awesome people.
Excellent people.
Awesome people.
The ones that come physically to the farm, or or pretty much, or online.
Yeah.
99% of the time, they're excellent people.
Yep. They come to visit me here at the farm. The first thing I do is look down at their feet. There'll be 5 or 6 of them get out of a car.
Yeah.
I can tell you which ones are here because they want to be here, and which ones just got dragged along because they got promised a shake or a taco. The ones in sandals ain't into it. The ones that have either boots or sneakers, they're gonna spend an hour out in the grove with me, sweating. Funny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll say, hey, you want to put on? My wife's got these like big rubber boots, But I'm dude from the
ones that come prepared.
Yeah, but you get the most like skinny little old ladies, like in their 70s and 80s, and not only are they able to like walk around for an hour and they're interested, they're planting trees. When you're 80 and you're planting a tree in the ground that you ain't gonna get fruit from until another 3 or 4 years
or sooner.
But you're 80.
Depending on what it is.
It ain't like you're 20 and you're planting a tree.
When you're 80 years old, you're getting a grafted tree. If you're going to get a tree, and that grafted tree is going to make you fruit. But a lot of seniors do say that they want a big tree that's fruiting already.
Which makes sense. But my point is, planting a tree is a decades-long endeavor. And when you're in your 80s and you're still planting trees, it says a lot for how positive your mental attitude is, and what your expectations for the next 10 and 12 years are. And I think having those kind of expectations and being busy like that is a way to keep yourself alive well into your 90s.
That's right. We gotta have something forward to. It's like getting a new toy. How many times people tell me, Julian, this is like going to Toys R Us for me. When they're going to my greenhouse, I have like a greenhouse that's probably an acre in size.
It's a beast.
Yeah. And we go in there sometimes with customers, and the customer's like, dude, this is like Toys R Us. you got this here and you got that there. You got, you know, Barbie collection here, you got Star Wars collection
true.
here. It's crazy.
It's true.
And
Yeah.
they're just like a kid in a candy
Yeah,
store.
people who get into fruit growing reminds me of people I know over the years who got into tattoos, and they get the one, and then the other, and then but they can't stop.
They can't stop.
You know what I mean? And it's the same with fruit.
Well, that's the way I am. I can't stop.
Yeah.
I'm always out looking for the next biggest, best jackfruit or the next
Yep.
biggest, best avocado.
Yeah.
And whenever I find, you know, the next big thing, I'm always excited to add it to my collection.
Yeah.
I may have to chop down something old
Yeah.
that, you know, is not exciting anymore and replace it with that.
Yeah. Speaking of the awesome people in the fruit growing community, let's take a minute here. Well, let me look at some of the comments. And while I'm doing that, Julian,
Yeah.
do you want to give out the phone number if anyone wants to call in and ask a question?
Why don't we rip out a piece of paper for me and I'll fold it in half and put it right over here and I think they can see it.
All right.
No, just rip out the whole thing from here. And then,
There you go.
and then,
Okay,
just,
so Julian's gonna give the phone number. You can call in now. Of course, that's only gonna work if you're watching live. If you're watching this in a replay, you're gonna be calling Julian. He's gonna be out working in his grove somewhere, working in his nursery somewhere. Greater Good, thank you for being here. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for getting the comment chain going. I appreciate it. And your wife enjoyed the avocado recipe. My wife and I did a little lunchtime live stream. We made avocado rice. And we used a choquette, and I bit into it, right? And I go, oh, these choquettes are so buttery. I go, you'd swear you were biting into butter. My wife goes, oh, I put some butter in the rice.
of course, you got to put butter in the rice.
But this guy, Greater Good, his wife has been using pollock, which is because of its density. That's a great avocado to mix in the rice. Alex is out there. How you doing, Alex? I'm glad you can hear me. Will's out there. How you doing, Will? Jack, let's go. Cupcake Betty, I missed you on the last couple of streams. I'm glad you're here. Frosty has been wanting to set up our little group chat, so I'm in the process of putting all that stuff together. Cuss Like a Sailor gave us a heart. This new guy, that rectified dude didn't know we did streaming. I'm glad you're here, and I really appreciate, first of all, welcome to the channel, that rectified dude, and thank you for all your participation this week. I really enjoyed your supportive and positive comments, which is another thing about the tropical fruit community. I mean, especially on YouTube, the comment sections are usually so toxic and nasty. For some reason, mine stay pretty positive.
Wow.
If you want to be toxic and nasty, man, have at it. I mean, I'll go back and forth with you. I don't mind either. And I ain't gonna delete you. I ain't gonna delete your comments. Cupcake Betty can't wait to try an atme. Greater Good heard that you stopped taking the orders, Julian. Do you have them on pause for now, or is that true?
I should have them on.
Okay, that might be wrong, Greater Good. You should be able to go on Julian's website and get on the waiting list, and I think the sooner the better. And that website is larafarmsmiami.com.
Correct.
That's where you can get his trees. You can go on waiting list for trees, and then Julian also sells a wide variety of the fruits he gets from.
Yeah,
all the
right now I
different
got
trees he has.
persimmons. Which I should have brought, but it's been raining so much today that I wasn't able to get out
It's
there.
crappy out there.
All right, I don't know if people can see that phone.
Okay,
number.
well, what is it? Read it. Say it out loud
It's
so they know.
it's a brand new number. I just created this number just for the purpose of this live stream.
Yep, you can see it. Look,
It's
it shows up good.
oh good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's let me say it anyways. It's 305-239, and people are calling already. 8691.
Let's test it out. Let us know if you could hear this.
Okay, I'm gonna put it on speaker.
One to start the call or two to decline. The
All
call
right.
will start at the beep.
All right, this is Guac Talk.
What's your name and what would you like to tell us today?
Hey, my name is James. I'm from Sarasota, about to get hit with a hurricane.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry to hear
man.
that, James. Yeah, we're watching
A lot
the.
of prayers going.
Yeah,
to
good
you.
luck, James.
That's a very important thing.
I was at your farm about a year ago, man. Thanks for the tour.
Oh, fantastic. All right, man. Good to hear from you again.
Yeah.
Man,
And Julian, que hola, hey.
hey, how are you, buddy? Que volá, bro.
They're having a Cuban moment.
So I'm in Sarasota, and I really like Russells and Brockmans. What do you guys think about growing those here?
Yeah, man, no problem at all.
I'm going to repeat the question in case our listeners didn't hear. James is asking about the Russell variety and the Brogdon variety up in Sarasota. Julian, so talk about that.
Well, yeah, they do fine. They do fine, man. It's pretty much the same climate over there that it is here in Miami. So you wouldn't have a problem, I think. Now, you know, do you have any big trees in the ground?
No, so that was going to be my second question. I live in an HOA, smaller lot. So is there any constraints for those trees here?
In the HOA, I don't know. You'd have to talk to your property manager. But you can just, you know, cut it when it gets.
I'm more referring to like the size of a tree, you know, when it, you know, next to my house, that kind of thing.
Well, they're not, you know, fruit trees are not invasive. Like, let's say a ficus. They're pretty good with growing next to structures and concrete.
Like they ain't gonna root into your slab and rip it up.
Right.
The root will hit that and turn the other way.
Correct.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they won't lift up a sidewalk.
Yeah. Awesome. Good to hear.
Yeah, man. Good luck with the hurricane.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
It's a terrible feeling, man, and we're gonna feel it here too in Miami pretty soon.
All right, James, thank you very much. We're going to say goodbye, and if anyone else wants to call in, the number is 305-239-8691. I'm going to take a comment here. So someone is, Shamail06 is saying, atme is the earliest variety you got. Then it looks like Greater Good is saying it's actually uber late, not early. However, that's not true, Greater Good. So we can contrast the atme to the Rani, right? So the atme that you're eating in April flowered in January, whereas the Rani that you're eating in April flowered the previous January, right? Like it held through.
Right.
So a Rani is uber late, and atme is by definition early because it's from that year's flowering. Am I accurate in that?
January, and it makes multiple flowers, I think.
Okay, we got it.
Oh, you missed it.
Call back if you want to get us.
What, did I finish my Mountain Dew?
You might have. You want to go grab something out of the fridge?
Sure, I'll get one of those sodas.
Yeah, just grab whatever you want. I'll take the call. What do I hit?
Speaker,
one?
and then this. Hello? Hello?
Are you hear me?
Sorry?
I said, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, yeah, I had ordered some, put an order in.
Oh, that sounds like a different call.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a direct
different
call.
Yeah, I'm gonna call tomorrow for the orders. On Monday.
Call and see, because I had ordered, I think, Thursday, so it's a problem on my end, because I never did get, you know, I got an order number.
Oh.
Yeah, Will, I got your comment
Yeah,
that you're saying the
just,
video is glitchy.
Right now I'm doing a live stream.
We live in the Everglades. We're in the middle of the swamp. It's going to be that way. Sorry about
man,
that.
thanks, bro.
At some point, I need to get like a Starlink or a HughesNet or something. Yeah, that didn't go through your. That was from your
No,
other
that was a
number.
regular call.
Yeah. Julian's going to go get himself a soda real quick, so I'll just talk to y'all here. Yeah, Cupcake, I'm not sure Greater Good is correct on the atme being uber late. The atme is literally a few months after the flowering within the same season. Riptide wants to know when the atme will be sold when the budwood will be sold on the Lara Farm website. I mean, I'm not going to speak on behalf of Julian, but I feel like that's a long time away, right? Okay, let me see if I could take a call here. Okay, then I got to go here, go to speaker,
Call or two to
press
decline.
1.
Press 1. The call will start at the beep.
Caller, you're on Guac Talk. What's your name and what would you like to talk about?
Hey, this is Doug.
What's your name?
This is Doug.
How you doing, Darby?
Doug, this is Douglas.
Hey, Douglas. Doug that I know?
Yes,
How you doing?
I'm good.
All right, you're on the air. What would you like to tell us, Doug?
No, just calling to say hello, guys.
Hello, Doug. It's great to hear from you. Doug is one of our fans. Doug comes out to the farm about once a month. He's visited some of my other farms with me. He's been to Julian's property with me. He's an insider. He's been in some of my videos. Yeah. Well, good.
Hey, we're still enjoying the joy Monica avocado, man.
I saw your chat. I was going to get to that. So Doug has his own variety of avocado called the Joy Monica. Both Julie and I have tasted it. It's a delicious variety that Doug grew from seed at his house in his backyard.
Oh, hi Doug, how are you?
Yeah, this is Doug.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
How are you doing and your wife?
Good, we're all good. Just great seeing you guys and just wanted to say hello.
Great, appreciate that. Let Joy know that I still have some longans, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for the call.
All right.
All right, bye bye, buddy.
Guys, great show.
Bye. Okay. Yeah, Alex. Both of the boys, but particularly this Diego, had a rough go of it, But it's good that he's got a hobby, a focus, a passion to keep him healthy. And Cupcake Betty is saying, she's going to need, Central Florida is going to be needing trees.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, if you have a big tree in your property that you're afraid it's going to get knocked down by the hurricane, instead of cutting it down all the way, you can just get a chainsaw and dig halfway into you get the heaviest, thickest trunk of the whole tree, and you get a chainsaw and cut halfway through the trunk. Not all the way through and cut down the trunk. Just cut halfway through and let the hurricane do the rest. So if the hurricane ends up bringing down the limb, it'll bring down the limb without uprooting the tree. And that's really important. So if you want to cut it down all the way and throw it away before the hurricane gets here, you can do that too. But if you're pressed for time, just get your chainsaw and cut it halfway through the main heaviest trunk of the whole tree and leave the rest, because the rest is going to be fine. It's just that heavy one that's going to act like a sail on a sailboat and just knock down the tree and uproot your tree. So to prevent that, just cut halfway through, not all the way, just halfway, and the hurricane will do the rest and leave the tree. That's if you're pressed for time. And then you go on to the next tree and do the same thing. And that way you can cover your whole, let's say, acre or 2 acre. If it's more than that, you're gonna need some help. But it's very urgent that you do that and leave the rest of the tree so the tree will continue to function afterwards.
Because if it gets uprooted, you're gonna have to cut it at about 6 feet anyway to stand it back up.
You're gonna have to take serious measures to stand it back up, because you're gonna need a serious excavator to stand it
up.
up.
The hole out, stand it up, prop it,
You
get
don't
all
wanna
the
do
air
that.
bubbles out. It's a pain in the ass. And tell me this, Julian, if I cut halfway through my trunk and the hurricane misses me, what happens then?
It'll heal.
Boom.
It'll heal, and then nothing. It's like nothing
So
ever
you've done
happened.
nothing to your tree.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah, that's the way to go.
Yeah. A few people are glad to see us, and we're glad to have you out there. Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
if you're looking to do a little shopping, you want to buy some avocados, remember you can get them from me at guacfarm.com, guacfarm.com. If you've been lifting and you've been putting some putting on some mass, you want to show it off, get yourself a nice Sleepy Lizard t-shirt. They're very form-fitting, especially when you have the form. Or a hat, if you're bald and you want to hide that. You can get those at guacfarm.com also. And like we said, Julian's got his trees at Lara Farms Miami.
Yeah, if you want to buy, specialty tropical fruit trees, such as sapodilla, mamey, avocado, mango, or even something crazy like what do you call that? Key apple. No one's ever heard of that. Stuff probably you never heard of before. If you go on my website, you can see the entire catalog, the entire list with all the varieties, and everything is in alphabetical order from A to Z. So if you're looking for a specific mango, just go on the list and you'll see in alphabetical order if I have it or not. If you're looking for a specific sapodilla, you'll see if I have butterscotch, if I have maycock, if I have Silas Woods, if I have Hacia. You can see real quick if I have it in a 1 gallon or a 3 gallon container. I do sometimes have 7 gallon fruit trees for sale, but that's kind of stretching it because then the shipping gets
Shipping's
really
gonna be
expensive.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking about shipping, what's going on? Maybe are we gonna still have UPS?
I don't know.
They're shutting down they're shutting down the customer service office
Yeah.
at the distribution center that I go to drop off my fruit trees.
Yeah.
So last I heard, they told me, "Oh, go to the UPS store." I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
Julian
we
and
don't
I
want
bump
us-"
into each other every Monday night. I'll be dropping off my last load of these boxes, right? Now imagine, this is a 12 by 12 by 6 box, weighs 10 pounds, and I'll have 100 of them in my truck. That might be my second load of the day.
Yeah, they don't want us
And-
at the UPS.
No, and they're like, oh, you can go to the UPS store. I'm gonna bring the UPS store to their knees if I have to do that. So I guess the day is October 7th, so we're gonna know on the 8th. Couple other quick comments we're getting here, Julian, is Doug, you're right. That dad is doing something really good for his kid and for himself, And then roundabout hexagon, his fruits have a lot of uglies because it's grown from seed. If it's in your backyard and they're ugly and they're grown from seed, but they taste good, so what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Love
You
them.
never know how it's gonna end up when you plant something from seed. It can grow up to be something really good
Yeah.
or something really bad.
Yeah. And then we have Sunshine Country Chickens, was born and raised in Johnny Appleseed's hometown, Mansfield, Ohio. It's in his blood to grow fruit trees. Well, funny thing about Johnny Appleseed, every time we talk about fruit doesn't grow true to seed, people always cite, well, Johnny Appleseed went all around the country planting apple seeds. Why, what was he doing if those apples were going to be inedible? Well, Johnny Appleseed was planting apple trees to make hard cider. He wasn't planting them to eat the apples.
Right.
He was planting them to make hard cider,
Right.
which it doesn't matter if the
To
quality
ferment
is
them, to ferment them.
to ferment them.
Yeah.
So the quality of the apple didn't matter.
It could be number 2 or 3.
They could look like crap, taste like crap. You could have 400 of them in a grove, and every one is different.
But
You
out
don't
of
need
400,
consistency.
but out of 400 seeds, one is going to be exceptional.
They might get a good one.
Yeah,
They might have got
yeah.
good ones. That would actually be an interesting thing to see is, are there any varieties, commercial varieties of apple that resulted from seeds that Johnny Appleseed planted?
Yeah.
But his main thing was for a hard cider. So when you try, like thousands of people have done to us to get us with a gotcha that we're wrong about fruit grown from seed, it's not a gotcha. Johnny Appleseed was not growing trees to get apples. He was growing it to get booze.
Well, the more let's say mango seeds that are planted in the wild, the better, because that way we can come and make selections out of the
Exactly,
best.
exactly.
Which one is the best out of
Exactly.
the whole forest?
Yep.
I mean, and in Miami's case, mangoes in the wild are mangoes that were planted from seed from people,
In backyards.
inspired by the mango they just finished eating. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna plant the seed now
Yeah.
because this is the best mango I've ever had. Boom, and then they planted a Hayden seed, and then they got
Yeah.
a kit or a Kent,
Yeah.
something even better.
Well, the funny thing is, I have a few fishing spots out in the Everglades. And one time I'm cruising through and I say, those are mangoes. There's a big old mango tree, right? Out in the Everglades. Then I see another tree. So I get out of the boat and I kind of push my way back. And then I noticed they're grown in rows, right? There was a whole bunch of them. So at first I thought, oh, maybe someone was out here eating a mango and just threw the seed.
No, there were rows.
It's an old grove.
Yeah.
That in the old days was owned by a farmer or leased by a farmer.
Probably leased to the by the government.
Right, and then when that expired, the government has taken over and just let the
Yeah.
park take over.
Yeah.
But it would be cool to maybe this year I'll take my camera and go back there during picking season
Yeah,
and
I
make a
remember.
little adventure out of it.
I remember going out west as far.
Yeah. This is way out west.
Way out west.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, I didn't know it can go that west.
Yeah.
And when we get there, it's a freaking Glen Grove.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah, I didn't look close enough to see what these mangoes were, but it was a mango. What I thought was just a rogue mango tree turned out to be an abandoned mango grove that's still fruiting.
Yeah, I'm like, who owns this? Oh, this is the government. So
Yeah.
they just leased it out.
Yep.
We're
Yeah,
trying to
and-
get some specimens.
Yeah, and Cupcake Betty, you're right. Anytime, kids that are into gardening and growing reach out to me to buy something, be it fruit or, well, I don't sell the trees, but sometimes people, well, before you started selling trees online, I would come up and buy them from you and just ship them to people. But now that Julian sells them, I just refer people to Julian. But yeah, I would never, I'd never allow a kid to pay money online to buy something.
Well, nowadays, you know, it's almost happening with mine. My kid's 11, and she's almost to the point where she just wants to like have a credit card stored in her iPhone. It's ready to go.
I take my son and his boys. You know, these kids. I've been. Oh, I got to show you a picture, by the way. I've been like having these kids for sleepover since they're 7, 8 years old. Now they're 15, 16. They're giants. They all play football either for Homestead or South Dade. They're not cupcakes. I mean, they're playing on some powerhouse teams. You know. And then I'll take like the younger boys to watch their bigger brothers play. My wife and I'll go pick them up, you know. And it's funny because I stand on the top of the bleachers because I can't sit. I'm too nervous about the game. And you'll see the little kids thump, 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 thump. And all the parents laugh because I just reach into my wallet. How much you need, Jaden? How much you need, Sebastian? You know, and I just, you know, giving the money. And I'm telling these kids, you got to get yourself, you're getting too old now. I can't be buying you your soda. You know what I mean? Get yourself a little Zelle account.
Yeah, get in line.
And have your parents load it up, you know. But they hit that age where they need to have a couple bucks on them now. They got to stop coming to Coach Tom. Let's see. Just keep planting with Nemo. Just bought your first box of avocados. Okay. Your wife can't hold down any food due to a pregnancy except fruit. Well, I hope if you bought the avocados from me, I hope you like them, and I hope she's able to hold them down. At least avocados like stick to your ribs, you know. So if she is having a hard time eating, it'll fill her up. You know what I mean? Which actually now might be a good time to taste one of these guys if we.
Yeah, you want to name all the ones we got here?
Sure, let them know what we got.
Okay, well we got Catalina. And Catalina, let's just cut open a Catalina off the bat. Well, this is a Berniker, actually.
I've been dying to try one of those. I've been hearing about them.
Yeah.
Tell us about the Catalina. Where does it come from? Why is it here in Miami?
Catalina is a Cuban variety, and it was brought, I don't know when, maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. And it's a very, very loved avocado, very much loved.
Yeah.
So this is Catalina.
Yeah, if you're driving through neighborhoods in Miami and you see an avocado tree in a yard and you have to take a guess, someone puts a gun to your head, guess Catalina.
And you see how it's starting to blush yellow. When they start blushing yellow, that's when it's like, whoa, this is as good as it gets. And also Catalina is kind of a dwarfy growing avocado.
That I didn't know.
Yeah, it doesn't grow straight up. It grows very dwarfy, very sideways, very short and wide. And then, hold on, this is a Berniker, which is very similar to a Simmons in eating quality, and it has this nice little S shape back here. And then we got the Hylia Red, which, you know, the name is real. It's actually red skin, and it's ripe. It's ready to eat.
Let me hold that closer to the camera. The red on this is like an apple. I mean, it is such a nice shade of red.
Yeah.
And this has a great origin story too that Julian has told. But essentially, his neighbor had a tree full of red avocados.
Yeah.
He knocked on her door and said, "Can I take a few cuttings?"
Yeah.
And the Hylia Red was born.
And let me tell you, it was a seedling that she planted. Okay, so it's a wild avocado.
Yeah.
It was a seed that she planted.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really that big. I think it fruited like in 8 or 9 years. It didn't take that long. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this was a lucky find for me because it was right across the street from the house I was living in Hialeah for a long time.
Yeah.
And then,
when you sold me the tree, I have one tree of this. You set my expectations that it's a good, but not necessarily mind-blowing. You know,
right.
like when you sold me a Brogdon, you're like, taste this, it's gonna knock your tits off, and it did. You know what I mean? And the Atme, of course. You set my expectations kind of mid-range,
low,
but when I tasted one of these, I loved it, dude.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It has great flavor.
Yeah.
But I've always felt that it's on the watery side. But this year, I think they have been almost not watery at all.
Oh, really?
They're really good.
It's like a this season thing.
I guess so.
Wow.
I mean, but for years, I've always found it to be on the watery side.
Because
with good flavor.
Yeah, I ate my first one this year, and I thought it was great.
Yeah, I thought it was the best one I've tried so far.
Yeah.
But that's really weird. But the really cool feature about this avocado is the red skin. Looks like you got a little spray can.
It really does. It's a bright, vibrant red. Yeah. What else we got?
And we got Hall.
Yeah.
Hall is a phenomenal avocado. It is dense.
Yeah.
It's like almost eating like an atme.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we got Beta, which you know, is an avocado from Brooks Packing House.
Okay.
That they named Beta. There's an Alpha and then there's a Beta.
Okay.
And there's a couple of other, maybe a Zeta too, that Brooks came up with. And then lo and behold, the original, authentic Haas avocado, grown here in South Florida in my farm. And the tree I've had for almost 20 years, and it's always done well for me. So for those who live in Miami and live in South Florida and like Haas, you can grow Haas. It ripens evenly and it tastes really good. And it's a Haas, it's a wrinkly skin and everything. So we're gonna try a Haas. And then here is Taylor, which is
delicious.
a Haas type. It looks just like
Delicious.
Haas. And it's one of these old school varieties that were grown by Old Man Chrome.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Like of Chrome Avenue?
of Chrome Avenue.
Really?
So he used to grow this a lot
Wow.
back in the day.
It's a good avocado. I tasted one for the first time last year from your tree in the back. Back there
really?
where you got the jackfruits.
Yeah.
And you got you got this variety back
Yeah.
there.
Oh,
gave me
you
one.
ripened it up and you liked it?
Yeah, we were all looking for jackfruit, and I was like, "What the heck is that, dude? It looks like a California type variety." And you said it's a Taylor, and you picked one and gave it to me, and I loved it.
And these two guys are Donnies. These are some leftover Donnies. And Donnies, you know, it's an early avocado. You can pick them in May, and they won't taste good because there's a little bit early, they're kind of on the watery side at that time of the year. But the longer you let it sit on the tree, the better. And these have been sitting on the tree since a long time, since May.
6 months.
6 months. So they're the runt of the harvest, but they taste really good. So let's we'll figure that out. And then here's a reed.
Okay.
This is very popular in California, the reed avocado.
Yeah.
And I think it's ready to eat.
Okay.
And then unfortunately, this is Oro Negro, which is a good thing, but it's not ready to eat.
I've been dying to try one. I haven't
Yeah.
tried one yet.
Well, you can keep this one.
I'll keep it,
And
okay.
you can try it
Yeah.
and see what you think later.
I have an Oro Negro I bought from you.
Yeah.
That's it's taller than me.
Right.
It flowered this season, but the fruit fell off.
Oh no.
But no, but it was a baby tree. You know what I mean? Like I probably would have cut the fruit off anyhow.
Yeah.
At the size it was.
Yeah, my tree is making a decent amount of fruit, but it doesn't produce as well as let's say a Simmons or even a Beta. Beta makes a ton of fruit.
Yeah.
And Catalina too.
Yeah. All right. What are we trying first?
All right. Let's try this Berniker. This is like.
Oh, okay.
The Catalinas need like another day.
I hear a lot about the Berniker as it's kind of a workhorse commercial variety, right? A lot of groves grow it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a variety that is up there with Simmons.
Okay.
In eating quality.
Well, as you know, that's one of my favorite. Berniker. Easy peel.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
One of the first things we test. No, on my desk, there's like a little plastic shelf. See if there's like a yellow envelope there.
Okay.
With yeah, like a small yellow envelope. So the skin comes off easy, but it's a thick skin. You can't chew through it. The next thing I always talk about is the firmness. I would call this a firm, whereas like the choquettes we've been eating lately are more spreadable and creamy.
Oh really?
You know what I mean? Yeah. This is on the firm side, like you said, in that Simmons vein or the Miguel.
It's very dense.
Now, let me see one of those. Put that back. Thank you. Oh, this is good. It is dense.
It sticks to my throat.
It is dense. Yeah, this is dense.
And
yeah.
the color is.
Oh, no, can you bring me another club soda?
The color is really nice.
This is nutty. This is nutty. This dries out my mouth a little like a walnut would.
Yeah.
This is good.
Yeah.
I like this.
And the oily aftertaste is
Yeah.
really good.
Oh, that's a nice avocado.
Yeah.
I like. Yeah. Very different.
Yeah.
Now, no, you try this avocado. This is called a Berniker.
Berniker.
Try this Berniker. Here, she could take a bite of mine. I gotta pace myself. I've learned one thing Guac Talk has taught me: only take a couple bites, or I'm sick to my stomach till 8 at night on avocado. Yeah.
Ooh,
I know, right?
wow.
It's a great.
It's
one.
nice, isn't it?
It's a great avocado for making sushi.
Yes, it would, because it would stay.
So good.
Yeah, and I think it would blend good with rice. Yeah,
I like how hard it is.
yeah, that's what she said.
Very dense.
Love it.
Fantastic. Thank you for introducing me to that one, Julian. That was really good.
Burger. And this is on my website if you guys want to buy a tree of this.
Yeah. Transit Miguel wants to know, I don't know if he's asking you or me, but we could both answer this question. He's local, real cool dude, by the way. Do we sell ripe avocados for same day pickup? My answer to that is maybe. In other words, you have to know the nature of avocados. So avocados don't ripen on the tree the way an apple or a mango would, or how tomatoes ripen on the vine. Avocados don't ripen until they're picked. And Julian just told you, Donnie's here. You could have picked this a month ago and ate it. You could have picked it 2 months ago and ate it. You could have picked it 3 months ago and ate it, which is a great reason to grow avocados in your yard because you can stretch the inventory.
Right.
So that said, on any given day, if you come to my farm, I'm not going to have avocados that you could eat right then and there, generally, because I'm leaving them on the tree, picking them within an hour. They're in one of these boxes, and by the end of the day, they're on their
Your
way.
best bet is buying them online because we'll pick the best ones that are available,
Absolutely.
ready to eat,
Yeah.
ready to ripen, and put them in a box and send it out to you.
Yeah.
And and you can still come over and hang out, and maybe we'll find something that's good, ready to go. But when it's time to pick, we always look for the ones that are in the perfect condition to ripen.
Yeah, exactly. And so now there would be one exception, and every now and then, if I have a lot of orders, I don't pick to order. I'll just pick 1,000 pounds.
Right.
And then I go rooting through the box, and I'll come upon, one that might have like a spot on it, right? I'll discard those.
Right.
Then in about 3, 4, 5 days, they're softening up and ready to eat. So if you happen to come by on one of those days that I've got a bin with maybe 50 pounds that I discarded from the 1,200 pounds I picked a few days before, I might have some that's ready to eat. Or sometimes a lot of the local fruit stands, and when I say fruit stands, I'm talking umbrella, picnic table, and 2 folding chair type fruit stands. I'll ask them, hey, do you want, because people usually want to just pull over and get a maduro or a ready to eat avocado.
Right.
I'll just sell them mine that way,
Right.
But so will it be ripe in as much as it's in season and able to be eaten? Yes. Generally speaking, though, we're not going to have avocados that you can roll up and eat right on that
you
day.
can find that on the side of the road. Actually.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that sell avocados on the side of the road, and they sell them ripe. If you're looking for like a Ronnie avocado, or like a Taylor, or Hialeah Red, or a Catalina, something that is hard to find, that's where we come in.
Exactly.
You understand?
Yeah.
And we will mail that to you.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you're looking at, an avocado that you can eat right now that they sell on the side of the road,
Yeah.
there's plenty of places for that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like these really, rare varieties, they're not going to be ripened and ready to eat at any given moment.
Yeah. And if they want your varieties, remind them where could they go to buy them, Julian?
Well, they can go to guacfarm.com
Oh, that's me. Okay. Yeah. Thank
or
you.
larafarmsmiami.com.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's the story with avocados. Now, you come by Julian's, you come by my place during mango season. Yeah, there's probably going to be one on the ground that fell that morning, or one we could pick and eat and sample.
Right.
I notice a lot of times you'll have a few samples laying around.
Exactly, and that's another. I do have that.
Yeah,
and when
yeah.
I have like a jackfruit that
Yeah,
ripened or
yeah,
something, I bring
yeah.
it out and I have it there, and everybody.
Yeah, it's just the nature of avocado is such that you can't do that with avocado.
And sometimes I do that, and nobody comes over.
Yeah, that's when you call your buddy Tom.
Yeah.
And I come over. Rah!
But at times we get like 5 people at the same time, and we have like a smorgasbord.
It's true.
And
It's
eating
true.
eating
Yeah.
whatever that is ready.
Yeah, and then Hugo, as well as a number of other people, are wishing us well for the hurricane, which I think we're going to be fine going by the cone. We're slightly outside of the cone. However, as tree farmers,
Let me put the image on for the camera.
yeah, good idea, yeah. But as tree farmers, like even the one that went by last week that came, how close, Julian? Yeah.
We got so lucky.
Yeah.
Throughout the years,
Yep.
the little blue dot is us here in
Yeah.
Miami.
Look at all that lightning strike. Jesus.
I mean, it's not even close here. It's all the way over here,
Yeah.
just
You
off
see,
of
we're-
Mexico.
So we're out of the cone for now.
And here's the cone.
Us is even when we're outside the cone, you still get them feeder bands and the high winds, And when you farm trees for a living, that makes it tough.
So if you're like in Tampa, Cape Coral, Naples, Sarasota, Sugar Hill, and even Gainesville, Orlando, you're in the strike zone, guys.
Yeah. Yep.
Unfortunately.
Yep.
And I'm like, guys, is this hurricane season ever gonna stop?
I'll tell you what. Yep. Man, we're getting a lot of comments here, Julian.
Give us a call.
Yeah. Tell them the number again.
I don't know it, man.
Let me see here.
It's 305-239-8691.
There it is. Yeah, if you want to give us a call and get on the air, give us a call. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, so people are wishing us well for the hurricane, and we appreciate that. And, you know, people are asking us a little bit about what we do to prep for a hurricane, and I think it's a little different for me and you because, like, we're already on farms.
Right.
And so...
But we have a grove.
Yeah, so, like, I already have tons of fuel. And so I'll almost never have to go. I might top off the cars. Oh, here we got a call coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Press a call or two to decline. Press the call will start at the beep.
Caller, you're on Guac Talk. What's your name and what would you like to talk about?
Hey guys, first time caller, long time listener. Love the content.
Thank you.
The question that I have is, I have 3 mango trees. They're young right now, maybe 3 years old each. Cogswall, Pickering, and a coconut cream.
Okay.
And it seems like each one of them has a different type of disease, right? Like, you know, like I'm dealing with white scale, and I just can't get rid of that. I've tried everything in the book. Do you guys have any recommendations?
Yeah, he has.
Let's reiterate the question in case they didn't hear
All right,
it.
go ahead.
I didn't hear you.
Well, basically, he's saying that. Okay, what's your name again, sir?
My name is Steve. Video for Geeks. I watch.
Oh, I know you. Yeah, you comment on my. You comment. Yeah.
Okay. Steve. Okay, Steve. I'm gonna help you out. What Steve is calling about is these little white specks on his mangoes, right? They look like little white dots.
On the leaves and the trunk.
And on the leaves and on the trunk. That's called white fly. White fly. That's the name of the insect. And they're teeny tiny. I mean, if you get like a jeweler's loop, a little microscope, you'll see that's an insect. So what do you do to get rid of it really quick? Okay. You have to get 2 things. Okay. One is called Ardent. It's spelled A-R-D-E-N-T. Ardent. Okay. That's an insecticide that kills the whitefly. So you get, let's say, about an ounce of that. And then there's another product that is called Zenith or Merit. Okay? Zenith or Merit. And you get an ounce of that. And you take an ounce of the Ardent and an ounce of the Merit. You put it in a gallon of water. And then you spray the tree up and down. You bathe the tree with that. And that will kill all the whitefly. And that's the only thing that will kill all the whitefly.
Sensitive?
Sorry?
Is it temperature sensitive?
Well, don't put it out to 100 degrees, but
Yeah.
we use it all the time in the greenhouse and it's fine.
Okay. And what type of chemical is that? That's like a topical, right? Not one.
It's not systemic.
That is fed through the roots.
No,
through the tree?
it's not systemic. No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because that's not good. That goes into the fruit as well, right?
Well, if it's making fruit, yeah, that wouldn't be good. If the tree's old enough to make fruit, and if it's a teeny tiny tree, then it wouldn't make a difference. But it's not a systemic insecticide.
All right, great. Yeah, I absolutely will try it. I have tried everything, like rubbing alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, oils, right? And that stuff is just so
Yeah,
hard to kill.
yeah, you can get that probably on eBay.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. I love you guys, man. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
I hope I'm in Tampa, so I'm probably going to get slammed with the...
Oh,
Oh,
Steve,
man.
I'm so sorry to hear that, man.
God bless
Buckle
you, man.
down.
God
Buckle
bless you.
down. We all, us Floridians, we all been through it, you know?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
man. We'll power through this. I'm bringing the mangoes in.
Yeah.
Hopefully I could save them. But...
Do what you can,
if
man.
you can roll it in, man.
All right, man. Thanks for the call.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate taking my call.
You got it. Bye-bye.
Talk again. Take care.
Yeah, we're all praying for
I'll tell you what.
everybody.
I'll
down
tell
there.
you what. I mean, you were through Andrew. I wasn't through Andrew.
Yeah.
You went through Andrew.
It was like a
teenager.
train.
You would have been a teenager.
It was like a roaring locomotive right next to your window, just going by your window. Like that's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
It was violent.
Yeah. Yeah. I was here about 18 months after Andrew, and I remember, you know, the turnpike here is up on a berm, so it's the only elevation in South Florida is when you're on the turnpike. And I remember driving through Homestead, looking to the right and left, seeing the most massive piles of debris, which were whole neighborhoods.
Whole neighborhoods.
Just
We're
bulldozed.
being sold. We're
They-
being sold too afterwards.
Yeah, just bulldozed into piles. I mean, I never saw anything like it. And then, you know, I've been through a lot. Probably aside from Irma, which did a lot of damage to our grove in 2017.
It was nothing. It was Mickey Mouse compared to Andrew.
Mickey Mouse, yeah, it only affected the trees. It did not. You didn't lose a single shingle off the roof. I mean, even fences didn't blow down. But if you had trees laden with fruit, they went down.
Yeah.
You know, and of course around here, I got to see houses that I never saw before because people's front yards were so grown in, and then they cleared out all the trees. You know,
Tampa, Sarasota, Naples, they might get hit with a Category 4.
yeah, that's bad. That's bad.
It's so far the predictions are Category 3.
Mm-hmm.
But that's being optimistic, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
It looks like it may turn into a Category 4.
Yeah, and you know, I'm seeing a lot of people online criticizing the folks in Asheville and in North Carolina for not evacuating. And we had that same criticism of people in New Orleans when Katrina hit. You don't get that here in Florida, and you will never ever get that again in New Orleans, and you won't get that again in North Carolina. My point being that,
Unless you live in a trailer.
well, yeah.
Well, a lot of people in North Carolina lived in wooden houses.
Yeah, but where I'm going with this is people don't understand the power of these storms until they've been in one, and until they've tried to weather out the aftermath as well. And so people in Florida take hurricanes very seriously, and we get on it ahead of time and start stocking up. And I guarantee you, the next time a storm is bearing down on New Orleans, the population will do the same because they learned their lesson. And now the people up in North Carolina, and I don't fault people for that. It's human nature. It's very hard to comprehend that a storm could be strong enough to blow your house, not only blow your house down, but literally blow it away, that there's nothing left.
Well, what happened in North Carolina, they got a lot of mudslides.
The flooding, yeah. Yeah.
Mudslides, and whole towns will just slide
Just
off.
gone. Just roads are gone. You know,
And,
people. Yeah.
and that's common in like Central America. We see that a lot
Right.
in Mexico.
Right.
We see that a lot in Guatemala.
Yep.
In Bolivia.
Yep.
And other places in Central America and South America. We never see that here at home.
Yeah.
And when we do see it, it's like an assault on the senses, man. We just not ready for that.
It's hard to comprehend. And I remember during Hurricane Wilma, my neighbor knocked on my door, said that a tree crushed your car. I thought he was teasing me. I went outside, my car was completely pancaked, right? A big old oak tree fell on it. Half an oak tree fell on it. And didn't just fall on it, blew, like moved, like it, you know, if the branch had fallen, it would have landed on
No
nothing.
matter what you do, let me tell you, I tried finding the perfect spot to park my car
No.
during the Irma and then Hurricane Andrew. All right, this is the strategic parking area. I'm going to put it so it doesn't get affected by the hurricane. And you know what happens? A mamey falls on it and breaks the windshield.
Yeah.
Or the tree fell on it.
Yeah.
Or everything fell on it.
Yeah. Well, I went out just to peek, you know, because the wind was still blowing during
Right.
Wilma. I saw my car pancake, and a big old sheet of plywood, a standard 4x8 sheet of plywood, goes like blowing by me, lands at my feet. So I kind of pick it up to move it. The wind blew again. That thing was wrenched from my hand,
Like a
so,
kite, like a kite.
piece of paper, so violently that it like skinned my fingers.
Yeah.
And and then walking around, and when you see a root ball, I don't know if you saw the one over here on 187th after Irma. It was the entire, it was one of those like ficus trees that's got the multiple. It was the entire length of the guy's front yard.
Yeah.
And about 18 feet high that just, boom,
Yeah, it just uprooted.
it was like a
Uprooted.
wall.
Totally uprooted.
Just pulled it right out of the
Yeah.
ground. I mean, so these storms are so strong. And for us, like, so we live on farm, so it's a little bit different because I'm sure you already have alternative ways of producing energy. You probably already have generators loaded, right? Because we got to keep our.
I got a
even-
switch that says FPNL or generator.
Yeah.
To switch from
Yeah.
FPL to generator. if you
Yeah,
want.
and I've got the same, and then I've also got a diesel pump, which I can pump water into my house if I want to, if the electricity's out on my other well. And I also have a hand pump.
I gotta get me one of those manual pumps.
Yeah, and then I've even got a backup.
case.
Yeah, and then I've got a backup in my Grove to prime the pump. But if I ever had to, I could just put a hose on that, pump from that, or just run a hose directly down into
Just
the
fill
well,
up the,
right?
the pipe.
Yeah. So we're gonna, like, Julie and I probably aren't gonna run out of water. And unless, and it could happen, unless it's so strong that it damaged wherever we're storing our fuel, we're probably gonna be good on
Well, that's
fuel.
where the hand pump comes in.
Exactly, but I'm saying for fuel, if we have gas, set up for like our chainsaws and tools and stuff like that. And then what I do is I bring everything inside with me, all my chainsaws, everything, and you start cutting your way out. People think about like food and having candles, but you know what else you need? Chainsaw chains, because you're gonna go through them. You need bar oil, because a gallon of bar oil will last me a year, except for after a hurricane, it won't even get me through 3 days.
Yeah.
Right? Those are the kind of things we stock up on. And then we make our own food, you know what I mean? So like, unless it completely blows away.
Well, in my house, we during Hurricane Andrew, we eat rice every single day.
I mean, that
Yellow,
was-
we just bought the stuff that makes yellow rice.
Yeah.
And rice.
Yeah.
And some Vienna sausages.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And Hurricane Andrew happened at a time when like our logistics weren't as good as they are now. Like now they send the power companies and they send the trucks ahead of time before the hurricane even gets there.
Yeah.
When you guys got hit with Andrew, it was months. I mean, it was terrible.
There weren't
It was
any trucks
terrible.
waiting.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was-
They learned a lot from that.
Well, it was like a bomb.
Yeah.
Everything got flattened out. You can see the cars driving by at night on
Yeah.
Chrome Avenue
Yeah.
from my farm.
Yeah, yeah. Jupiter Mojo wants to know, he's getting fruit off of his sapodilla, his Silas Wood sapodilla for the first time.
Yeah.
Sapodilla is a delicious tropical fruit. It's a cousin of the mame, right?
Correct.
And it's pronounced sapodilla, sapodilla, nispero, chicos. There's a lot of different
You know
names
what the
for it.
Jamaicans call it?
Naseberry.
Kneesberry.
Neesberry, yeah. Yep, you're right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Can't forget about Doug, man.
Yeah, and
You're
yeah.
Like Kneesberry.
Yeah, and it's a very sweet fruit. People with diabetes have to be careful with it.
Yeah, some people call it the brown sugar fruit.
It's just like
It's like you can
it's-
squeeze
it's-
the fruit and put some sugar in your coffee.
It's like it's gritty like pear, like when you bite into a pear.
There's some that are sandy.
Yeah.
But usually the wild varieties are sandy.
Well, I like that. Like when
Yeah.
I eat a nice Bosch
But
pear,
then
I
there's
love that.
there's some low grain varieties, kind of like Silas Woods,
Yeah.
Hasia, Cacao.
Okay.
All the butterscotch. Those are all very fine grain.
They're so
you hardly
good.
feel any sand in there.
Jupiter wants to know, he's seeing fruit on his trees now. When do you think he'll be ready to pick it?
Probably like in the winter.
Yeah, December or so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went out and checked
January.
on mine yesterday. They're doing great. My macaque
Yeah.
is loaded, but that thing produces year round.
Yeah.
Just about year round.
Almost
year round. I could always find one or two,
Yeah.
but like December, January, you shake it and it's more.
Now
than you
on
can
the macaque sapodilla doesn't have to be all the way ripe for you to eat it. You can eat it when it's squishy,
Oh, it's so good.
and it's like eating a crunchy sapodilla apple.
It's so good. It's
It's amazing, and you can eat the skin.
Yeah.
The skin doesn't bother me.
No, it's like eating an apple or a pear, or a peach. This will be the first year that I sell sapodilla at guacfarm.com. So those of you who've tried mame for the first time,
Did you sell longan this year?
I didn't.
You should have, man.
I
You
got
have tons of longan.
You see them; they're still out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you notice, my neighbor, He took away a lot of his side of the trees. So I have
got more sunlight.
I have more sunlight now. I'm gonna put longans.
But
in
longans
over
next
there.
year.
I'm gonna put longans in, and next year I'll be selling longans. But this year will
But
be
they were the biggest longans I've ever seen, man. They're
see
like
how
humongous.
they're
What is
huge
that?
out there.
Koalas?
I got them off for you. We can look at them when we're done here. The one has the grape colored flesh, the clear flesh. Then two of the trees have a more pinkish flesh.
Oh my God, that's the Shri shampoo.
It is It is good.
The Shri shampoo.
It is
You got
good.
Shri shampoo, huh?
I got it off for you, whatever it was. When I first started buying fruit trees from Julian,
That's a rare longan, Shri shampoo.
okay, well, when I first started buying trees from you, I was really only into avocados, and it was like whatever you guys sold me, I just planted. I never made a map of them or nothing.
Right.
Now, since then, you've identified all my mangoes, so I know what's what.
Right.
But maybe we could look at those, but they're so good.
Well, the pink flesh longan, that one's pretty rare. That's a Shri shampoo. CHAMPOO. Shampoo.
They're good. Well, anyways, this will be the first year that we sell Sapodilla at guacfarm.com, GUACFARM.com. And if you've never tried it, it's a really good tropical fruit. It's a very good. Actually,
Sapodilla is yeah.
Actually,
it's native to Central America and throughout the Caribbean and South Florida too.
and if I ate a Sapodilla blind, like if you gave me one up in New York,
Yeah.
I wouldn't think tropical. They don't have that.
They're kind of like that pear.
It's more like a pear.
Pear consistency.
It's more like a pear.
It's the tropical world's version of a pear.
Yeah. And so we'll be selling those, and much like those of you who got to taste your first mame and came and ordered more mame from me, Monstera Deliciosa, varieties of mango you never knew existed. This would be another new fruit that I suspect when my customers taste their first ones, they'll be ordering more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we'll have them going. So Jupiter, excellent question on an excellent fruit. I think and the Sapodilla tree is basically grows into what would look like a hardwood tree if you let it go in your backyard. Now we won't let them grow that big in groves because it hurts your productivity and effectiveness. But I've seen backyard Sapodilla trees 60 feet high with tree houses.
Well,
in them.
they're native.
Yeah.
They're almost native to South Florida. That's why
Yeah.
you see such mammoth trees
Yeah.
in people's front yards or by their driveway.
Yeah.
That's 60 feet tall.
Yeah, I know where there's a couple growing wild in an old abandoned property out west. Yeah, but it's going to be plowed down and a gas station is going to be put there soon. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's the way things are going.
Yeah, so Jupiter, for at least where we live, it's like a December, January into February is the bulk of the crop. But I'll get a
And
rogue.
spring. And
Yeah,
spring. It makes
but
fruit almost half the year.
okay, yeah. I was just about to say I'll get rogue ones also, but my like real pressure crop, like I'm filling bins of them is now because I got another grove that's got them that I'm leasing right now.
What, the avocado?
No, of
Sapodilla?
Sapodilla.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they're Hacia. Yeah, yep. Yeah, we sent we saw
Pastas
them.
are big.
Last year I only did them to the packing house, but this year, but last year I only used U.S. Postal. This year, now that I'm using UPS and I can trust the fruit to get there in 2 days,
Right.
I'll feel comfortable doing things like Sapodilla, longan, even lychee.
Yeah.
Because lychee are delicate.
Lychee has to get there in 1 day.
Even 1 day.
Or 2 days.
Yeah, lychee, you're going to spend 3 times the price on the shipping than the actual fruit itself.
Well,
just to get
if you
there.
can get it, if it's in Florida, you can get it in
Different
1 day.
story, different story.
Yeah, if you're outside Florida, it takes about 2 days. If you're further away, well, not really. Anywhere in the United States, you can get it in 2 days.
You just
for
have to
lychee.
really like it if you want to pay that kind of shipping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people do.
They do. I get it. Yep. Gary Simpson's here. We'll see when he gets in here on his alter ego. Yeah, great or good. We're back to that. The atme does develop quickly, and then Transit Miguel. We did answer your question. You could come to either of our places for any fruit, and it'll be when it's in season, of course, ripe in as much as you'll be able to eat it eventually. With avocados, though, it's hit or miss because an avocado requires 7 to 10 days off the tree before it's ready to eat, and we're generally picking, packing, and shipping in the same day.
Yeah, same thing with mame.
Same thing with mame.
It takes about 3 or 4 days for it to get ripe.
Yep. And Greater Good is apologizing to Cupcake Betty for saying he didn't mean to misinform, but no, you didn't misinform. I mean, that you were under the impression that that's what it was, which is more true for, say, the Ronnie variety. So no big deal at all. That's why we do these things. Just Keep Planning has Starlink at work. It's super fast. Yeah, I got to look into Starlink or Comcast.
Starlink is, I would go for Starlink.
I got to look into it
I
because
would go for it.
we could really, with a better camera, you know, we get a musical guest. We could really kick this up a notch. Oh, I want to play a game with you guys. Let's start a game where
We'll get the guy with the flute to come over.
Yeah. I'll see if I can find him. Yeah. Let's do a game where you guys go into the chat and I will start it out with the letter A, and then the next person B and C and D and E. I want you to name a variety of avocado that starts with that letter.
Or that's on this table.
Or that's on this table. I'm going first, and I'm going to say for the letter A, the Aru. Now, someone type one that starts with B, then someone go next and do a C, etc. Aru, go. Give me a B. Or do you want to do the B?
Want me to say it right now?
Sure.
Berniker?
Berniker. All right. We're ready for C. Hint, hint, hint. Wait, hint, hint, hint. We just talked about it. We just talked about one.
C is for,
Okay.
you actually got two B's on this table.
We got a beta and a Berniker.
Yeah.
Okay, that rectified dude. He searched some YouTubers for growing tropical trees, and then he found our channel, and we're the favorite. Fruitful Trees is his second favorite. Yeah, you know what, rectified dude, and this is something I noticed years ago, and this is true for a lot of hobbies. I also collect old like Volkswagen buses and fix them up. I used to race bicycles. People get online and they just complicate the hell out of hobbies and passions. And they want to be gatekeepers. I remember when my blue bus, I was driving down the street in Miami. Baby, it's actually called Dove Blue.
Oh.
Is the color code is L42, I think, the Volkswagen color code. Dove Blue. Anyways, I'm driving down a street in Miami. This guy kind of pulls me over, which they do. They want to talk about the bus. And he's like, "Where'd you get that bus? How long have you had it? I've never seen it before." He's a member of the car club Miami V Dubs. And I'm like, "Dude, who do you think you are? Like, I'm allowed to buy, I don't have to go through Miami V Dubs to buy a
Like, what are you, a detective?
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, well, I've never seen this bus before. Where'd you get it? How long have you had it? I'm like, I've had it like 5 years. I restored it, you know. And but there's these gatekeepers in all these hobbies. You know what I mean? And I'm seeing it big time now on Facebook as people keep inviting me to these mango growers and avocado growers, and oh my God, people!
the groups?
Oh, they're so nasty, you know. And so when I started to make my YouTube channel, I really hoped that I could just keep an open and welcoming kind of vibe, you know, about the channel. And one thing I do is encourage the making of mistakes. Who cares? You plant 10 trees in a pot and you did 5 of them wrong, so what? Start over. If they're not human beings, you didn't kill someone,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And how do you think people grew in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s? Best case, they would find one book, How to Plant Mangoes in Your Backyard.
No information.
There was no resources, no information.
In South Florida, people would go to the Rare Food Council.
Sure, there was some word of mouth, and people were able to do it, you know? Now you're online and it's, oh, use this oil and this cream and this, you know, this treatment and do this. Oh, you should use gravel. No, you shouldn't use gravel, you know? So what I try to do is just have like you know, we're not botanists and we're not launching a missile to the moon where you need to get it, you know, just right, you know?
Right.
Make mistakes, go out there, have fun,
Right.
you know, which I think, and because of that, I think you do end up with stories like I told at the beginning of this podcast about a kid like Miguel, you know, who bought a mango tree through me from you that's been therapeutic to him, or that other little boy that tried the atme and now as a family, they're going to grow avocados. You know, imagine like they were treated like the way some of these guys treat people on these Facebook pages. You know,
No.
oh, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Why would you know, dude? Come on, please. You know, all these tough guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kenny too.
That's how these like car club guys with the Volkswagen car club, like they're walking around like all tough with their goatees and their tattoos. I'm like, dude, you drive a VW Bug. Little girls, like little 8-year-old girls, run out of their house and wave to you. Like it ain't like you're not a Hell's Angel.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I
They're
mean?
not- they're not pulling on your drawers.
Yeah, you know, like come on. But you know that gatekeeping crap. I don't go for it.
I'm about to cut open this Hialeah.
Do
Red.
it. Do it.
Give this guy a try. I'm curious.
And more people are on the stream now. Remind them of how you discovered this variety. This is a Julian. Julian didn't cultivate this one himself. He
Found
discovered it and then introduced it to the market.
I found it in the urban wild.
Dude, not just the urban wild, Hialeah.
Hialeah, which is wild.
Very wild.
Which is wild in itself.
I lived there for 3 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
I kind of miss living in Hialeah. So, anyways.
Yeah,
Here's one for you.
Gracias. Yeah, rectified, dude. There's a lot of old abandoned properties that sort of timed out as the national park system was like gobbling up property down here, which I think for the most part is a good thing. Where it's become bad is now that like budgets are short, that they own that land but they're now cutting off access. And it's like, well, what's the point? You know, what's the point of turning something into a park if you're not going to let people go in the damn park? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of cool to come across that. And even way out in Flamingo is the cane patch, and there's some camping areas there. It's a raised island, supposedly the foundation of which are huge piles of oyster shells. Would there be oystering out there?
Well, probably dumped.
Well, like ancient humans, or like in prehistoric times, like the people that lived out there made these mounds, and then plant life grew there. And there's one campground out there called the Banana Patch, and there's fruiting bananas right there. I mean, like in my boat, it would take about 3 hours to get to this spot.
Right.
And you pull in, there's a little dock, and you go in, and all of a sudden there's all these banana trees with fruiting bananas. It's awesome to find them
In the
out
middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere. Ooh, that's good. Yeah, dude.
So a little bit on the watery side. So it's like a light oil.
It is a little on the watery side, but this is a delicious
The flavor
avocado.
is there, but
this
the
is
flavor
delicious.
is there. The flavor is there.
I love. You know what? This is
Hialeah
two
red.
now I've had, and I'm actually looking forward to getting fruit off of
It's
mine
kind of the
next year.
color of a atme.
Yeah.
A little bit.
This is a damn good avocado, dude.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
bad.
you did a good job undersetting expectations.
Well, preserving this variety, because it would have been gone.
Would have been gone.
It would have been gone if I didn't
Yep.
decide to graft it and
Yep.
bring it into my collection.
But what we used to do in sales when I was a corporate salesman, we called it UPOD, under promise, over deliver. So you sold me this, you're like, oh, it's decent. No, it's actually great.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm going in for a second bite.
It's well, I ate the whole slice.
I'm going to.
I mean, where are you gonna find this color on an avocado skin?
It's cool as shit.
And then get this inside. Look
Yeah.
at all that meat.
Yeah.
It's a good meat to seed ratio.
It really is. Ooh, that's a good avocado.
Yeah.
Yum.
It's a nice flavor.
Yeah.
And for like people like my mom loves this avocado because she likes avocados more on the watery side.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, we don't. We like avocados that are dense and oily and stick to your throat and all
Yeah.
that good stuff. And this
Yeah.
is not bad for someone who has that taste.
Well, you know, on that topic of how taste is subjective, I grow a variety called the Black Prince, and in fact, there's one over there on my counter. I should have brought it here.
Right.
And it is the most polarizing avocado.
Yeah,
that I
either
sell
people love it or hate it.
I have had people ask me for a refund, and I've had people specifically request more. And I got some feedback the other day from a guy that bought some, that even his 9-month-old baby loves them, and can he buy more? You know? And so taste is absolutely subjective, which is why we encourage you to get out there and try different things, particularly when it comes to mangoes. And me and Julian and there's 4 or 5 other guys in the fruit sort of YouTuber space. We'll get together and just eat mangoes and talk about the flavor.
Right.
And you don't get a consistent thumbs up from everyone. You might, two of us might like one, two might not like it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Taste is subjective, and that's why it's such a great thing to have variety. And one person you could really thank for that is Julian and his family, because that's precisely what your business model has been for what, 3-4 decades.
Yeah.
Going to other countries and finding varieties of fruit that we don't have here, and also planting seeds and growing them for 10, 12, 15, and in some cases 20 years,
Yeah.
to then cultivate new
Fruit
varieties
hunting.
of fruit.
Fruit hunting and fruit breeding, and it was between those two things we've, been able to acquire a lot of cool varieties.
Yeah.
And also varieties that already exist that are really good. We've collected from other people and other institutions. So altogether, we've made quite a collection as far as avocado, mamey, and mango, and other things.
Mm-hmm. His mamey, they're so well known for mamey. My brother just randomly called me yesterday. He lives up in North Carolina. Have you ever heard of the pace mamey? I go, not only have I heard of the pace mamey, the guy whose mom and dad that it's named after is going to be with me on a live stream tomorrow, and it's this man right here.
Yeah.
Him and his dad cultivated that variety.
Well, it's just my dad. My
Or your
dad,
okay,
on
yeah.
his own. I was a little kid.
Yeah.
When that was going
Yeah,
on.
but you were probably standing right next to
Yeah,
him
yeah,
from
yeah.
from the stories. And I mean, such a small world. So the woman says, "Oh, that's my great uncle or something that's named after." So it turns out like a relative of Julian has a child in school with my brother's child all the way up in North Carolina.
Wow.
Somehow my brother mentioned he was from Miami. They got to talking about mamey, and I sent him a picture of a paste that I bought from you.
Yeah.
And I said, show her this. This is a paste that I got right from Julian's
What a small
farm.
world.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Unbelievable.
You got Will here is looking at some of your coffee plants.
Oh, yeah, I do
Online.
sell. I do sell coffee plants on my website, and I do grow coffee at my farm. I have probably about 6 or 7 trees producing coffee right now. Now, I have made coffee with my trees, and it's damn good coffee.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe because it's so fresh, or my technique on making the coffee, which is very labor intensive. Let me tell you, it's not easy making growing the tree and all that stuff. That's easy. The process of making the coffee is you work your fingers to the bone.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, just as an activity, just out of fun, I make my own coffee.
Yeah.
And I pick the fruit, which tastes like a sweet bell pepper.
Oh, you could eat the fruit that's
Yeah.
around the bean?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it tastes like a sweet bell pepper. So you chew up the skin, you spit out the seed, and then that seed you wash it, and you put it in a dehydrator. Okay, just to knock out some time. Put it in a dehydrator, and then overnight, that bean turns hard as a rock. Okay, and you got to break the shell around the bean, around the seed. It's not really a bean; it's a seed.
Okay.
So you crack the shell, and you blow all the dust off, and you're left with this green bean, a seed that's hard as a rock. Okay, and then you take that and you put it in a roaster.
Yeah.
Now I bought a roaster just for roasting coffee, and it's just like a thing that it's like an auger that goes really slow, and it turns the seeds inside
While it's roasting?
while it's blowing extremely hot air through the auger.
Oh, your house must smell amazing.
Oh, it does. It does.
Yeah.
It smells up the house.
Oh.
So those beans go from being green to brown, and then from brown to black if you wanted to go black. But the highest caffeine content is when the bean is browned, not blackened.
Okay.
So you do whatever you want. I like it to be in the middle between brown and black. And you take it out, and you take out that seed again, and it's brittle. You can crack it with your fingers, no problem. You smell that, and it's like, whoa,
Ugh.
this is unbelievable. And then I make Cuban coffee with it, which is kind of like an espresso.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
The whole family, just like, wow, I can't believe this is from your house. This is in Miami. And coffees are known for growing in the mountains. And there's no mountains in Miami, and we get good coffee. So that's really, really unusual for us to be able to do down here.
Well, you know what I'm waiting for you to grow and make for me is them cacao trees you got
wow.
going.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can make me some chocolate.
Yeah, well,
Which is going to be a similarly intensive process. You got to ferment the.
Yeah.
He's growing chocolate too.
Yeah, I think I may be the only person in the Redlands growing grafted coffee trees, which I do intend to sell on my website in the near future. Grafted coffee trees.
Coffee or cacao?
Cacao trees,
Yeah.
chocolate trees, and these varieties that I have are from These are some varieties that were commissioned by Mars Candy for
Really?
for the USDA. They wanted a special cacao that did not get this virus that's plaguing all their cacao groves in Central America, endangering the chocolate market.
Did not know that.
Yeah, so there's this virus killing all these cacao trees in Central and South America. So they commissioned the USDA to come up with a variety that's resistant to this virus, and that's what these are.
Oh, that's
I was
awesome.
able to get Budwood, and we got two varieties. One's called Gainesville, and the other one's called Beyonce, named after the singer. And I'm growing them both, and one of them, the Gainesville variety, tends to be the more productive, the more vigorously growing tree. The other one, Beyonce, doesn't grow as vigorous. This one, this Gainesville variety, is very vigorous and very productive, and make a bright red colored fruit.
Yeah.
Kind of like a lipstick red. And you know, in order to make chocolate, you need this special stone
Yeah.
churner,
The grinder thing. Yeah.
and that is what gets the oil out of
Yeah.
the seeds to make the chocolate.
Yeah.
It does something, because if you do it in a regular coffee grinder, you're not going to get
Right.
that oil.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to figure out where am I going to get this stone grinder
Yeah.
that gets the chocolate out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because what I did with the fruit, because I gotten fruit already from my trees. So what I did with the fruit, I roasted it in my coffee roaster, and they roasted it after I fermented it.
Yeah. You got to ferment it.
And
yeah.
then I dehydrated it, and then I put it in the roaster, the coffee roaster. I did the whole process just like coffee. And then I was like, well, what do we do now? It smells like chocolate. Even the little kernels inside taste like chocolate. Kind of bitter, but it tastes like chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
So we grinded it and we mixed it with water, and we made like a drink out of it.
Yeah.
It was like a hot cocoa drink.
Yeah.
Kind of like what the natives did, I guess, back in the days.
Yeah. Yeah. We bought a few pods one time, and my son followed like a TikTok
Yeah.
hack recipe. We didn't have the machine, but since we were only making a small batch, I don't know if he like grabbed a spoon. He did something by hand, which you'd never do if you were making a big batch, but just for the novelty of it. But he let them ferment a couple days, and it came out really good.
Yeah, it
it
tastes
came
like
out
chocolate.
good. Yeah. And what was so cool when I saw your tree, I saw the white pods. I didn't even notice the red ones till you pointed them out to me, because they looked like leaves or something too. Like I didn't catch them.
Yeah.
And they're gorgeous.
Yeah, well, on my tree, there's two colors on, because below the graft is the
No,
rootstock. And then that one's fruiting and flowering too. And those are flowering and fruiting yellow skin fruit.
Wow.
Below the graft. And above where the graft is the red colored fruit. So it's two colors on one tree.
Star Weaver wants to know, does the Hylia red only blush on top, or will it get entirely red?
It gets entirely red. In this case, for some reason, it didn't get completely red, but most cases, it gets completely red, and then it gets dark red when it's ready.
And then Jeremy Pinto wants to know, what's your favorite avocado? And he's guessing, would it be Catalina? And he wants to try Catalina. And do you have any left for sale? And Jeremy, can you specify, do you mean does he have any fruit left for sale or any trees left
I
for
got
sale?
both. I got
Okay.
plenty of fruit for sale on the website, larafarmsmiami.com. Just go on there, click on avocado fruit, and then that opens up, and you'll see Catalina fruit for sale. I think a 5-pound box
Okay.
for $35 or something.
And then, oh, sorry.
And then the tree you can find as well if you're looking for the tree.
And then James Diaz wants to know, if he buys a mango or an avocado tree now, would it be best to wait till springtime to plant it?
And you're in South Florida?
James, are you in South Florida?
Well, if you're in South Florida, my answer is plant it now, because the little cold that we get is only for like 1 or 2 days, and then it gets hot again. So it's hot all year. So you don't have to be afraid about planting your tree in South Florida because winter's coming. Winter's gonna come in January, first of all. So from now to January, you got a long time. And then by the time January gets here in February, you're probably going to get 2 or 3 cold spells, and that's really not going to do anything. Now, if it gets below 32 degrees, if it gets below 33 degrees, just get some wood together and nail in, make like a little box and staple some plastic around it if it gets below 32. And then when the sun comes out, take all that stuff off. So, or else it'll bake in there, it'll cook in there. And then put it back on if it gets cold. And that's what you got to do. Those are the measures you have to take if you're growing something outside in places where it gets under 32 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, and I'd say also in that vein, another consideration is rain. And so, you know, you put a tree in June, we got them daily rains coming for the next 5 months.
Right.
You put it in January, February, make sure you water it because it's going to dry out.
Well, get a moisture meter.
Yeah.
Get a moisture meter and use it every day when you have something brand new in the ground.
Yeah.
So you don't overwater.
Which is an issue for avocado and mangoes, big time.
Big time.
Big
They live off, mangoes and avocado live off this much water.
Yep.
Very little water.
I didn't even irrigate my grove this year.
I mean, you don't. Once they reach a certain size, they can take care of themselves.
Yep. And then a few other thoughts on how to. So that was for water. Julian was also talking about how to protect them from the cold. When you put them in the ground, have as much debris, organic material around the bottom of your tree as possible, so that it starts to rot and it starts to ferment. That actually gives off a heat. So if your yard is 32 degrees, the area right under your tree, especially if it's not windy that night, might be 33, might be 34. In other words, don't put a bunch of gravel around it, or be very careful about the type of mulch you lay down, because some of that mulch is just dead. There's no organic activity happening. But your branches, your leaves, your grass clippings, stuff you didn't like, peelings of stuff
that
you didn't
decomposes
eat,
right
stuff
away.
that decomposes. That's the word
Right
I'm looking
away.
for. Yeah,
Right away.
have that, and that'll help also produce heat. And then also it won't work with LEDs, but if you get like some old-fashioned Christmas lights, you can string those.
Or you get those chicken lamps.
Yep.
For the incubators.
Exactly,
Put it
yeah.
in that little plastic box
Yeah.
that I just described.
Yeah, you just need to be above 32, and it doesn't take much for a small tree in a localized area for a few hours to keep it above 32.
And anything that cold, let me tell you, you cannot mix dry and cold. So even though they live off very little water, you cannot let them be dry. You have to make sure they get plenty of water when it's that temperature. When it's really cold, they need to get a lot of water, because cold and dry is a bad mix, and it will kill the tree from one day to another.
Yep. Someone's asking here, Julian, Shirosuke 1 is the Catalina dwarfish, which I think you mentioned something about that earlier.
Yes, it is dwarfish.
Okay.
You can say it's a semi-dwarf, because in 20 years it's going to be a big tree, but it's not going to be anything compared to like a choquette or a Russell, which are giant trees.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. We'll get through. Oh, they're playing the game. That's awesome. Let me cut through it. Oh, is there another variety we could taste, or were these the only ones that were ready?
No, there's more.
Do another variety while I look at some of these comments, Julian.
Well, I'm going to open up a Donnie.
All right, I'm dying to try a October Donnie, because I've never had one this late.
Yeah, it's late for a Donnie. It's really late.
Okay. Joe Serrano is asking for our other friend. Is he not available? Yeah, Paul, who normally sits right here, was unavailable today. However, we just kind of came up with this idea to do today, like on Wednesday. The last 2 ones we had more
Planned,
notice.
yeah.
Julie and I just kind of cooked this up this week, like, hey, let's do another one. This is what again? Oh, this is the Donnie.
Donnie.
Okay. Yeah, definitely a little more slippery and greasy than the Berniker. A little more oily or whatever. That's a good avocado right there.
Sweet.
That's a sweet. Now, see, a Donnie in June, July would not be sweet like this.
No.
Dang, that's good.
Yeah. Wow.
That is good.
Late Donnies. Leave them on your tree as long as you can. Don't pick them when they're big. Just pick them as late as you can.
See? And this is what's hurting us as an industry, because everyone loves the hash. Then they go in the store, they buy a Donnie in the end of May or the beginning of June. I think we're picking them too early as an industry. Like even me, when you guys buy avocados from me at guacfarm.com, guacfarm.com. In fact, go there now and get yourself a box. I don't sell the Donnies when they're right away able to sell. I hold them till late June or even into July because they taste better. And I need my customers to have good tasting fruit.
Right.
This blows my mind.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. If you blind taste tested this for me, I would not tell you.
You know, Paul hates Donnie.
Paul hates Donnie,
and he recently received a box from me of Donnie that I had that probably like 2 weeks ago, and he loved it. He said they were good. He said they were great. There's nothing wrong with these avocados, and goes to show you, a hard critic like Paul will bend the knee and say yes.
Yes,
Donnie is.
And it also speaks.
legit.
It also speaks to Paul's unfiltered honesty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, at this point, he's tried so many stuff that he's already numb.
Yeah, and he was very staunchly against the Donnie, and then in his like a video he did a week ago.
Why would anybody want a Donnie?
Yeah, and then the video a week ago he's like, this one tasted good.
Yeah. Well, the reason why people would want a Donnie is because in a commercial aspect, you can pick them in May.
Right.
Because they have the correct size. They're legal to sell.
Yeah.
But we gotta wait.
Yeah.
The real season for Donnie is obviously August.
Well, and for me, the Donnie market is more of a wholesale market because believe it or not, I get more per pound wholesale right at the beginning of the season for Donnie than I sell them for retail online. The price is insane, actually.
In May, the price is insane.
Insane.
And if you have avocados that are up to par as far as the size, don't buy it no matter how bad it tastes.
Yeah, just to get it to market. There's just the supply and demand factor. And dude, I'm talking like $1.60, $1.70 a pound, wholesale.
That's amazing.
Which, yes, I sell them for more than that retail, but the volume you could do wholesale.
Yeah.
You know, when you take into account.
You can't pass that up.
No.
You can't pass that up.
Nope. Okay, a couple other things. Let's see here. Okay, Transit. So I did answer your question, answered it again, and you said thank you. Roundabout Hexagon, your dad eventually gets good tasting avocados, require simple care and rolling the dice. Jack Holman wants to know, what's a good cucumber shaped avocado and are they watery? I know of two that you can speak to. Well, not exactly cucumber shaped, but maybe more squash shaped.
Right, that'll be the Russell.
Yeah.
But I actually have a cucumber shaped avocado.
You do?
Yeah, it's the seedless avocado. It's the one that I found on Chrome Avenue that's completely seedless. It's like this. Remember I showed you the video? Look, it's about this big, look.
Oh yeah, you showed me it, yeah.
Yeah.
You have it on your Facebook.
It's just this big. It's like a little cucumber like that. And it's 0 seeds. It just has like a little hole in the middle.
Yeah.
And it tastes really good.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, he's specifying not the Russell, there's one that's specifically like a cucumber.
Yeah,
So,
that you can find on my website under 1 gallon avocado and 3 gallon avocado. You can find the seedless avocado that I just call seedless because it's really an amazing, and I have a picture of the fruit on the website too. If you want to click on the name, the picture will pop up on the top.
Yeah.
And that's a really, let me tell you, I went back to get more budwood and they already cut down the tree, so that tree is gone.
Yeah.
And did you know the USDA, when they found out that I had that variety, they requested budwood and material from the tree.
Makes sense.
So that they can run analysis to find out what is the origin of this seedless avocado.
That's so
Is
cool.
it coming from Guatemala? Is it a West Indian? Is it a Mexican? Is it a complex hybrid?
Amazing.
What is this avocado that made a seedless fruit, and where did it come from? What is the origin of this avocado?
That's so cool.
So unfortunately, it's going to take years to find out, because in order to fill up the orders, in order to send this material out to get analyzed, they need to fill in a whole bunch of test tube holes. You know, they say this case holds about 20 samples.
Analysis machine runs a cartridge of samples.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have to fill up the cartridge, every single spot. before you can run the analysis, before you can send it out, because it's too expensive.
Right. You don't. If they're going to charge you for the run, whether there's one vial or 64 or however many fit in the.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have to wait till they. I don't know if it's done already, if it's been sent out, if they completed all the samples needed in order to send it out, or not. So as soon as I find that out, I will be breaking that news.
Yeah. And then we have one here. Joe Serrano says in Spanish, "El aguacate es para hoy o para la semana," which allow me to translate that for you. He's complimenting Julie and I, saying it looks like we've been hitting the gym a lot lately, and he really enjoys our podcast. So thank you, Joe. I appreciate that.
Basically, he's saying, is it for now or for next week?
Yeah, which when I hang out with my buddies over here with the fruit stand, it's literally that way. Like people pull up.
Yeah.
Where he's from, is it ready now or next week? We ain't got the time in Miami. People just go, Maduro? No. Zoom, they drive
keep
away.
going, yeah.
Maduro? Is it mature? Okay. More hurricane talk. Oh, John F. is out there. How you doing, John? I'm way behind on the chat. Sorry about that. What is the variety of avocado Julian said tastes like peanut butter? I don't recall you saying that.
Well, it's sticky like peanut butter.
Maybe sticky like peanut
there's
butter.
several
Yeah, I don't
varieties.
recall
Well,
you.
atme is one of those
So
that stick to your throat like peanut butter.
Oh, it's so good.
This Berniker stuck to my throat like
It
Berniker.
did. Yeah.
Like,
it dried out your mouth.
Yeah.
Like a peanut butter would. Yeah.
Usually, all these sticky avocados are very peanut butter like.
Yep.
And Campong is one of those. Ronnie is one of those. Atme is one of those. This Berniker is one of those. This Donnie is damn near close to being one sticky avocado.
Yeah. Now it is this late. Yeah. And on the other hand, the Hialeah Red was kind of light and fluffy.
Yeah.
And it's nice.
Light.
Yeah.
The Lula is very sticky. And it has a very hard skin to peel. It's not an easy peel at all.
No,
and it's
you're
very
right.
sticky avocado.
Yeah, and it's like a bridle skin too.
Very brittle skin. Yeah.
Such a good avocado.
You gotta peel it with a knife. Yeah, it's
I
phenomenal.
miss mine. I had one in the backyard, and Laura Will took it, and I miss
man.
it, man. A lot of hurricane talk and a lot of well wishes for the hurricane. So thank you, and of course we wish y'all well too.
Yeah,
That's
anybody
in the
who want
cone.
to talk about the hurricane, you can just call us up and tell us what's going on. And if you have any trees in your backyard that you're worried about, want some advice on what to do with your tropical fruit trees now that the hurricane's coming, please give us a call or just let us know in the live chat.
Yep. And then Greater Good, Julian, do you ever have any problems growing the Julie mango?
No, I don't, because I spray with coppercide.
Yeah.
And I prevent the anthracnose fungus from attacking the fruit, and I spray with sulfur to prevent the powdery mildew from killing the flower.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, but I do get Julie mangoes.
Yeah.
Now, if I lived closer to the ocean, I would be working less.
Be good. Yeah. It's such a delicious variety too.
Yeah,
Oh.
a hint of coconut,
Yeah.
traditional, classic mango flavor.
Yeah.
Beautiful skin.
Actually, before you leave, I want to take you out and show you my IPA collection, my specialties I got from you.
Yeah.
Dude, in the last 10 days, they've all gone on a growth spurt. Like in 10 days, it must be the rain.
Yeah.
They have gone on such a growth spurt. Some of them have doubled in size.
Yeah.
Even the Julie grew like an inch, which those things grow slow.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, but I'll show you real quick before you leave later.
Yeah, it's all this rain, and remember, rain is distilled water. It's water with no minerals. So there's nothing stopping the water from penetrating the stomas on the plant, on the leaves and on the branches. Has these little things that absorb water, that drink water, called stomas, and they penetrate the plant a lot better because there's no minerals obstructing the way through the plant. Now, when you water with your garden hose or with your well water, that has minerals, and they're not going to pick it up as easily as distilled water, which is rainwater.
I was not aware of that. All I know is the rainy season. Well, and you know, even Will up in, I think you're in Wisconsin, you know what the rain does to your front lawn. It does the same to our trees, you know?
Yeah. That's why people use distilled water to spray fertilizer.
Oh, so it like
It absorbs
bonds or, okay,
it
yeah.
absorbs
yeah.
it a lot better. The plant can absorb the distilled water and drink it a lot easier than regular water, regular mineral water.
Gary's asking, is this the first year I'll be selling Sapodilla? Retail, yes. I've sold it wholesale. This year I'm going to do retail Sapodilla. Doug is reminding me that Joy will have a fit if her long ends are gone. Don't worry, I just talked to Julian and showed him along my fence line. Not only will
as I drove in, I saw a lot of long.
Yeah, it was a good year for me for those, and I'm going to plant even more along our fence line out here. Greater Good's right. I cannot grow enough Monstera. I sold out of my Monstera in no
And
time.
you got a ton of Monstera.
And I already have a ton.
Dude, you got a ton of Monsteras growing everywhere.
And I keep planting more. Every chance I get,
and they take a long time to make fruit.
They do. But it's
And you got plenty mature trees. I mean, growing. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. And I wish I discovered, well, the market for those really cropped up since like TikTok became a thing. It became like a social media thing, because they were more a nuisance to me. I used to cut them back.
Yeah.
You know, but that's the way it is. Like, I sat next to a guy on an airplane one time. He told me he was in the egg business. He would grow chickens, lay the eggs, crack the eggs, put them in big plastic jugs to sell to diners in New York. And over the years,
Scramble them in the jugs.
they just pour them right onto the skillet.
Yeah.
And over the years, his business changed from where he used to have, I told you about this, he used to have to pay to have people haul away the shells, to now he makes more money selling the shells, and the eggs are just his secondary crop, you know? My point being, things evolve. Things evolve, you know? If you were a pure, dyed-in-the-wool, like many of you are, tree grower, you'd fall to your knees if you saw how I've let some of these clusters of Monstera overtake my avocado tree. But if I could make 75,
they're vines.
and they send out a root every centimeter, right?
Yeah.
But that avocado tree might make me $100 in avocados. It's going to make me $300 or $400 in Monstera. You know what I mean? So I'd rather use it as a trellis.
Yeah.
Okay. Shauna Kampf, you're here in Tampa. You'll be outside checking on you got 35 trees.
Oh no.
They did good last week. I hope they do good again this week, Shanna. Good luck to you up there. Perry Bridgman, thank you for doing this. You touched on ag tax credits regardless of property size. Can you touch on that, please, or give direction to where to find that information? Yeah, go to your county tax collector's office, and they'll tell you the requirements. I don't know exactly what they are here.
They don't even have to be grafted to trees
to get the exemption. I know the one thing you got to do is show a receipt that you're selling commercially. So if you've got chickens and you're selling eggs, if you've got hives and you're selling honey,
you got a horse, you got a cow. Just one cow can cover an acre or 5 acres.
Yeah, and you just need to sell the milk.
You know what's some good advice? Just go on ChatGPT, openai.com, and ask the AI.
Yeah.
It'll give you an accurate, perfect answer every time.
Yeah, and the info's out there I'm not sure if you're Dade County, but the info's out there too. Do both of us sell lychee to the public when it's in season?
Yes.
Yes, we both do. And in fact, I picked some for you, and you picked some for me this year. I think both of us hit it was mamey. I got some mamey off of you. You got some lychee off of me.
Right. Yeah, I got lychee off of you.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Jupiter is saying abundance is a type of avocado. I don't know of that type of avocado.
A variety called abundance.
Yeah, or maybe Jupiter didn't understand the assignment. I don't know, but
Well,
then John F came in close with atme, but it's atme. But you're both cool because I already said aru, so you didn't have to start with A. B, we got Brogdon, Bacon, Brony. No Brony. Then on to C, we got Catalina, Criollo, Choquette. Someone's trying to be funny and say chocolate. We don't have a chocolate avocado yet.
No.
Or maybe you do. I never know with this guy. I'm at his place once a week, and every month or so, it seems like you surprise me with something
new. Well, you know what? You remember what I surprised you with this week? The bumpy cotto.
Oh, that's right. The picture. Yeah.
Well, you got to come by and see the tree.
I got to see that thing. Yeah.
It's the bumpiest avocado you've ever seen in your life.
This guy is bumpy, right? These guys are bumpy. Yeah. Nothing compared to the picture you sent me.
No.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Okay, so now we went to John F said Bata. I think you mean beta. Campong, Donnie Day. John F says Paul's favorite, and I know he meant Donnie. Cupcake Betty says Buddha Gatekeepers. I agree. Catalina, Donnie, E. Edwards. I don't think
there's no
so.
Edward avocado. I got a one for E. You know which one? Eagle Rock.
Yeah, we tried that last
Yeah,
time.
we tried that.
Yep. What about F?
F. Fuchs.
Fuerte.
Forte. Fuchs.
Jupiter saying Fairchild, which I believe there's a mango, right? Yeah, okay.
No avocado. I think Fairchild.
This would be an easier game to play with
There's a Simmons
mangoes.
mango too.
There is?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah.
Yeah, this would be an easier game to play with mangoes. Then Doug's cheating. He jumped with the J to Joy Monica, but we were still on F. Unless the alphabet's different down there in Jamaica. You've got a different word for every fruit we grow, so maybe you guys mix up the...
Yeah, they
the
call
alpha-
avocados alligator pear or just pear.
Yeah. And then Mo Savage says Free Diddy. You're a little off topic there, Bubba, but okay. Yeah, Cupcake's telling me to catch up on the chat. You're right. Ronnie wants to, okay, Bill is on H. He said Hall. Excellent. We also have Hass. That makes a good H. Ronnie wants to know, is Guac Farm around Homestead? Yeah, we're right in Homestead. We're in the Redlands in the agricultural district, both Julian and I.
Correct.
And if you're not from here, you could find our stuff at guacfarm.com, GUACFARM.com. And
Or larafarmsmiami.com. That's my website where I sell tropical fruit trees, all kinds of tropical fruit trees, and tropical fruit.
And Mojo's Mama B wants to know, what do you do to keep your guac from turning brown? Brown is oxidation, which is the same thing as rust. It's exposure to oxygen. Whatever you could do to limit exposure to oxygen, the best is tightly wrapped cling wrap. So if you have a bowl of guacamole that's all the way to the top, just wrap that cling wrap right to the top on it. That's the best thing you
I
can
heard
do.
somebody you can squeeze some lime on it.
You can squeeze some lime. My son did this as his
really?
science project.
Really? How
You know?
to keep avocados from oxidizing?
Yes. So you have hypotenuse, you got to go through, or hypothesis.
Hypothesis.
You got to go through the scientific method.
Right.
Right? We had to have controls. And so we did all that. And we found far and away, cling wrap, tightly wrapped cling wrap protected your fruit from browning and your guac from browning the most. Wrapping them in lemon, or covering them in lemon, leaving the seed in.
You're definitely leaving the seed in.
Turning it upside down, putting it on a plate. They were all better than the control that was just exposed to air, but none of them came close to just tightly wrapped.
With like a shower cap or something.
A saran wrap. Or you said your mom had a thing she would use, right?
Yeah, it was like a shower cap looking
Yeah.
thing.
Anything that's going to keep the oxygen from
They
hitting them.
do sell stuff that are just for doing that, for covering cut avocado.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they do sell stuff.
Yeah.
That's like a saran wrap.
Yeah, and then something we do is we cut them this way. So we don't cut them in half, and then you've got all this exposure.
Right.
If you just take a little sliver, you're actually exposing less to the air. And then even if you put it upside down, you're going to protect it somewhat, or you can wrap it up. And then when you're ready, you take another sliver. And of course, you don't want to serve any type of browned or spotted fruit at a party or a dinner. You don't want to have brown guacamole. But I don't care. If I eat a half of that and I go back to the cutting board 6 hours later and it's a little brown, I power right through it. I don't care.
You can also just put this whole thing in a Ziploc bag.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
just squeeze the air out as much as you can.
Yeah.
And you're done. That will do the job as well.
Yep. Do West Indian varieties take longer to oxidize than the other? I've never really done a comparison, but I
no
wouldn't
difference.
think so. Joe says it would be so cool to taste a yummy Haitian mango. I'll tell you what, they're one of my favorites. In spite of the fact that we don't really grow them here, there's some people that grow them, but we get them imported, which already is one strike against you because of the process of importation tends to diminish the flavor of all the fruits we eat,
I don't know if gassing affects the flavor. But
I don't know, but it's anything that's picked and imported is going to be picked a little early. It's going to be chilled, right? But and the Haitian mango is full of fiber. But if I'm at a fruit stand and I see those Haitian, those Madame Francis, dude, I buy the whole box.
You know, the
I love
best, for me, the best mango from Haiti is one called Baptiste.
them. Oh, really?
Yeah, Baptiste is a more rounder mango, and it's fiberless, completely fiberless. You get nothing stuck in your teeth, and it's very firm, very, very firm flesh, and it lasts. It has a very long shelf life because of that. You cut it open, you cut it in half, whatever, eat half, and you put the other half in the fridge. That one is gonna stay fresh. It's not gonna go mushy on you.
Yeah.
It's gonna stay firm
Yeah.
a long time in the fridge, and they're delicious.
Yeah.
And they're gonna keep being firm after a few days.
Yeah. Here's someone here, Julian Jupiter. He's got one of your pace trees.
Oh,
and has been
congratulations.
hitting it with 20-20-20
Oh,
fertilizer.
Awesome. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex.
That's the way to go with everything except for mangoes.
Yeah.
You can give everybody under the sun 20-20-20, aka Miracle Grow.
Really? Is that what Miracle Grow's mix is?
Yeah, pretty
I didn't
much.
know that.
It's
Okay.
not really the exact mix.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same. It's a blue powder. There's different kinds of Miracle Grow, but the one I go to is the all-purpose Miracle Grow, which is pretty much 20-20-20.
Okay.
That can go for everybody under the sun except mangoes. No fertilizer for mango. They don't need it. They're very efficient on their own at finding nutrition.
Okay, there's people worried about the danger to the chocolate industry, which shows you how far behind I am on the chats. People got bored with our avocado naming game around the letter H. What would you say? Is there an I? There was an Ignacio.
Ignacio, yeah, that's it, right there.
Yeah, you
Ignacio.
brought an Ignacio
Yeah,
2
yeah,
weeks ago.
Ignacio, yeah.
J?
Um,
I know one.
what?
There's a Jala being grown in Australia now.
Wow.
There's a variety
saved
Jala.
Let's see if we can complete the alphabet.
Okay, K, Kampong, or is that a C?
Campong, yeah.
H-I-J-K.
Yeah.
L,
Lara.
Lara. Yeah, okay.
Lima
And there's-
Late.
Okay, and there's also a Lila. I see they grow over in California.
There's Loretta too.
Loretta. We tried one of those, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Hijkl. M. Monroe.
Monroe.
Miguel.
Yeah. Oh man.
LMN.
I got stuck there.
Nesbitt.
Nesbitt.
Nader.
Nishikawa.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from Hawaii.
Oh, I never heard of that one.
Yeah. No Gamma.
Okay.
No Gamma you probably never heard of.
Never
That's
heard
one
of
of the
that.
track that I
Never heard of that.
really liked. No Gamma.
And O. We got one right here.
What?
Where is he? Aquí está.
Oro Negro. That's right.
Yeah. LMNOP.
P. Peterson.
Pollock. Okay. LMNOP. Oh, we're never going to get a Q,
Q.
are we?
Are we gonna get a Q?
That's why it's worth 10 points on Scrabble.
That way, yeah.
QR. Ronnie. QRS.
S.
Simmons. T.
Tower
Tyler.
number 2 or Tyler.
U. I
I
don't know of a U.
Ulgado, Ugabe.
There's one something like that?
Maybe, I don't know.
V.
It's another 10 points on Scrabble.
Yeah, V's a tough one. W we got. You brought one the other day.
Walden
Okay, and Wilson.
and Wilson.
I was thinking Wilson, but Walden also. WX, no way.
No.
Well, you know what? There's probably in the Mexican Spanish where they use a lot of X's. You know what I mean?
Maybe,
There, I
maybe.
wouldn't be surprised if there's
Avocados
one.
that start with X for
Yeah.
500.
X, Y, and Z.
Zeta.
You said there might be a Zeta.
Zeta, yeah.
That ain't too bad.
Yeah.
Now, Mango, we could probably do the whole alphabet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be a $500 answer right there for Jeopardy.
I'll tell you what.
Mango starting with X for
Yep.
500.
Yep. Okay.
We should do like a Mango Jeopardy show.
Yeah. I know. I think it would be fun. Okay, Mojo's Mama B just opened up his first choquette, smooth and lightly flavored. My wife, who's pittering around the house. I think she's out on the back porch. It's her favorite. When choquette season hits,
Yeah.
she loves it. That other half was eaten by her. You found that half in my kitchen.
Yeah.
She ate the other half today with her eggs. Mojo's new at trying anything other than the tiny Hass, which is this right here.
Let's try it right now.
Do it. I love the Hass. You know, a lot of people around here in the Redlands kind of shit talk the Hass because it's like our competition, which it's really not. It's a whole different market. The availability of Hass has nothing to do with the price of what we grow here. It really is a different
Well,
market.
it's just Haas tends to give the West Indian types a bad name. Because Haas's always taste good no matter how early you pick it.
They're so damn good, though. You gotta admit, there's a reason they're 95% of the market.
Yeah.
95% of every avocado
They
sold,
still taste good,
at
even-
least in North America.
No matter
is,
how small they are, how
yeah.
early you pick it, they still taste good. And they're easy to peel. Look at
Yeah,
this.
yeah, and but 95 out of 100 avocados consumed or at least sold in North America are the Hass variety. There are 4 billion, Julian, 4 billion of these consumed around the globe every year.
Wow.
Which means,
It's not fruit anymore, it's food.
yeah, I mean, that's enough, that's contributing to the sustaining of populations,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Okay, now think of this. They're all grafted trees.
Yeah.
To get 4 billion avocados, you need millions of trees. All of which are cuttings of cuttings of cuttings of cuttings of the original Hass tree
Yeah.
that grew in Rudolph Hass' front yard in La Habra Heights, California 100 years ago.
Amazing.
And we might be at that point with this atme, where the original is right across the street here.
Yeah.
You got the next variety in your nursery.
Yeah.
100 years from now,
Yeah.
you know?
Hopefully. And Haas is grown all over the world. So
All over.
when we're out of season,
Yeah.
there's somewhere in the southern hemisphere, it's ready to pick.
Oh yeah, I'm getting that little different flavor of this. There's a,
So Guatemalan.
yeah, and I hesitate.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, and I hesitate to use this word because people often see it in a bad context. But all my life eating Hass avocados, which by the way, I was a senior in high school when I tasted my first avocado. I grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and in the 80s, and like we only had corn when corn was in season locally. We had tomatoes when tomatoes were in season. Like, you know, it wasn't until like the mid 90s into the 2000s that the logistics really kicked in, that everybody can get just about anything now at the grocery store. But I always
Apples all year, oranges all year.
right, yeah. I always found there to be a bit of a almost medicine-y, but in a good way, or a chemically aftertaste that I would get from a Hass, but I like it. I don't mean that in a bad way.
It does have like this taste.
There's just a little something that lingers, but I love.
Yeah, this is grown at Lara Farms. This Haas avocado.
Right here in Florida.
And it's damn good.
Yeah.
It ripens evenly.
Yeah.
Unlike Winter Mexican. You know, Winter Mexican is a great tasting avocado, but it doesn't ripen evenly. And this does. This ripens every year. And I got this avocado like 25 years ago. I got budwood 25 years ago from my good friend Eric Tiedig at Pine Island Nursery.
Oh, okay.
He had a producing tree, and he let me get budwood.
Yeah.
That's why I got it.
Wow.
And he has the original authentic
Yeah.
Haas, and this is the original authentic Haas from California.
And now my son spends just about every weekend with his son.
Oh yeah?
They're buddies, yeah.
Oh, they're the same age.
Yeah. Okay. Carlos, you just bought a haul 1 gallon from Lara Farms all the way out in Las Vegas. He got it in 2 days, and thank you. And I'll tell you what, speaking of haul, you made a good choice. Haul is a beautiful avocado. I don't know what you find on your trees, Julian, but mine are alternate bearing. I get a really crazy strong year, like where I have to prop the branches.
But they're taking a year off to
And
recover.
yeah,
They need a year off to recover.
Yeah.
If it's that heavy. Usually you would just cut the crop in half.
yeah,
And so you don't stress out the tree so much.
Yeah.
If you wanted to fruit every year.
yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So you can kind of cull the crop and even it out.
Right.
I just kind of have a feast or famine. Like this year is a somewhat off year.
Yeah.
I have a lot, but not like norm. Like not in a real bearing year, like one branch, it's like a bunches of grapes. So the Hall variety, now you've heard us talk about all these varieties. Berniker, obviously someone's last name. Hialeah Red, he gave it that name because it's a red avocado he found in the city of Hialeah, right?
Right.
Simmons, Choquette,
All last
Hass,
names, all last
Monroe,
names.
all named after people, right? So what are we talking about now? The Hall?
Let me see.
We were just talking about the Hall, right?
Yeah, we had this person just bought a haul in Las Vegas.
Yeah, okay.
In a 1 gallon container, and it arrived in 2 days from LaraFarmsMiami.com.
Without divulging their address, what does that return say right there?
What?
Nancy Hall.
Oh my gosh.
This is a letter I got from Nancy Hall, who is the niece of Mr. Hall. I'll have to see what
Let me
his...
tell you, I'm starstruck.
Dude, she does genealogy.
Really?
She's doing the family tree. In doing her research on the Hall family tree, she stumbled upon a video I did about the Hall avocado. Well, it turns out her grandfather,
Those are original pictures?
R.E. Hall, from 1925. That's him right there.
Bro, let me put the man's picture.
Yeah, put it next to the
This is
avocado.
an original photo that she sent you?
Yes,
Bro, you gotta send this back.
I will. That's the guy who cultivated this variety
Hall avocado.
Now they've since moved on. They're centered up in North Carolina.
This is the man. This is a legend.
Yeah, and so she reached out to me. Will you send me some Halls? And I said, of course I will. I just need them to be ripe. So I said, text me back in October when Halls are in season. And at like clockwork, she sent me a message about 3 days ago. And so what I'm going to do is go out. Here he is again in 1905, a little younger.
That is amazing.
Yep, 1905. I'm going to go out. I'm going to get her on speakerphone. And I'm going to pick her Halls and make a little video. And she's going to give us a little history of the Hall avocado and the Hall family.
The forefathers of avocado.
Yeah. Yep. And so I'm not sure. There's a little hymn here she sent me. She sent me a whole packet of information on the family. Oh, look at this. She had texted this to me too. I have this document in electronic form. Okay, so here we go. R.E. Hall. I came to Miami in July 1902 with my brother Willis on a sightseeing tour. Among the first people we met were John Sewell, blah, 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 and okay, yada, yada. There were teachers. So there's a whole history here. Miami was a place where people mostly went around on bicycles. Wow, this is 1902.
The city of Miami.
This is 1902, yeah. He opened a school.
That's the year my grandmother was born.
Yeah. So there's a whole history here. And I really didn't look at this. One day, oh, wait a minute, hold on. The men used to swim in the Miami River. One day, Jim dived into the river for a swim, and he emerged seized between the jaws of an immense alligator.
What?
Now, Jim is no pygmy. Jim must have been a big guy.
He wrestled an alligator?
Well, let's find out. Let's find out what happened. Jim is no pygmy, being over 6 feet tall and about 190 pounds. So this gator must have been a monster. Right there, Jim demonstrated his presence of mind. Being underwater, he did not have time to waste. Knowing the only place to attack the saurian, I guess that's a word for alligator, Jim managed to get his thumb and middle finger in the creature's eyes and proceeded to gouge
Oh my God.
with such vigor that the reptile was glad to let go and swam away in shameful defeat.
Oh my gosh.
A profoundly grateful victim, though badly lacerated in both mind and body, swam ashore. Oh my God. This is so
Mr.
cool.
Hall?
No, this is his buddy Jim.
Oh, his buddy.
This is Mr. Hall writing about his buddy Jim.
In the Miami River.
Yeah, see now this is the 1902 equivalent of an Instagram story.
Yeah.
If this happened now,
It would be
he'd have been
posted.
recording it
Recording it
instead of saving
and
his
posted
friend.
it. It would have shown
And
up
then he
on
would
our
post
feeds.
a video of
It
it.
would have shown up on our feeds.
Yeah, this is the 1902 version.
Of social media.
Yeah, and then look, Nancy just sent me all this other stuff. And so we're gonna do a video and she's gonna take us through the history and, you know, oh, it looks like he might have made it to be the superintendent of schools in Miami-Dade. But also created the Hall variety avocado. So it's so cool to have this history.
You know, and I've always been a fan of the Hall avocado.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so I'm gonna do a little video with her. Look, he's a veteran. She took me through on the phone one day the whole family
Wow.
history she's doing.
God
you know?
bless him.
Yeah, amazing stuff.
God bless
Is
the
that?
guy. It looks like a regular call.
If it's, yeah, that's a regular call.
All right.
Yeah, call back. So that's cool, but I don't think either of those halls are ready
No,
yet,
these are not
right?
ready to eat. You may have to wait until tomorrow, day after.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, next week I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna wait till this hurricane passes and, make a vid with Nancy about her grandfather's
That's wonderful.
avocado variety, yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Origin stories.
Yeah, and that's the thing, a lot of these people who've created these, you know, were movers and shakers. They were businessmen, they
Well, he
were
was a pioneer.
pioneers, yeah,
He's
they
a
really were.
pioneer.
Yeah.
Anybody comes to Miami in 1902,
Can you imagine?
you have to be a pioneer.
Can you imagine the mosquitoes?
Can you imagine living in the Redlands
Shit.
in 1902?
No,
There was people living here in the Redlands.
yeah,
It's crazy.
Yep.
The mosquitoes, gosh, the building material,
yep. Yep,
feed for your animals,
can you imagine?
the heat.
And then discovering orchids.
yeah.
They're just all these native orchids that as they were clearing land.
Wild animals. We used to
Mm-hmm.
have bears down here,
Yep,
and mountain lions. Well, not mountain lions, but like panthers or whatever.
yep,
It's another world. We've tamed the wild,
yep.
so they say.
Okay, let's see a few more comments here. Yep, Cupcake named the Lula, so she's on L. There's a lot of M's, Cupcake, you're right. Monroe, Miguel. Jupiter's guessing Queen. There's a Queen avocado. I don't know, Jupiter.
I've never heard of Queen.
I think you're stretching the limits of our game a little bit. By the way, Jupiter won one of Paul's hats,
Oh, he did. Okay.
but he declined it. Not, you know, it's not that he don't like the hat. He's just like, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. I'm good, you know. Here's a guy who pours urine on his banana plants.
That may
Okay.
work.
Okay. Uvalde avocado.
Yeah,
greater good?
Uvalde.
There is a
That's what I was.
is it?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Oh shit!
What?
There is a Z, and I've eaten it.
What?
Zutano.
Oh, Zutano. Never heard of it.
It's a California variety. It's one they use as a pollinizer for hats. So you know how they'll plant like a fuerte every seventh tree?
Right. It's probably
They'll
a
also
type.
do that with Zutano, which is also a type B, flowering type. My buddy who grew up in California brought a Zutano grafted, and it's over 20 years old in his front yard here in Miami. And he brings them to me when they're good. I love them. They're
Really? Get some
good.
Budwood. I never heard
Yeah,
of that.
Zutano, they're really good. They're round, and I would compare them to like a Miguel in that firmness. Yeah, they're really good. Zutano, absolutely right. Okay, let's see. Okay, Cupcake Betty, where I would describe that lingering aftertaste of avocado as more of like a medicinal. She describes it as a resiny flavor.
Yeah.
And you don't get it from all of them, but
No.
the ones that are in that Haas family. And I get it a little bit with the Monroe. I don't know why. Because I don't.
It's a hybrid of Guatemalan.
Oh, it is.
In West India.
Well, that explains it.
it's a
Especially
complex hybrid. They call it.
especially later in the year, like between like Christmas and New Year, they've got a real. They
I
got that.
love Monroe. I love Monroe.
They're so good.
So nice and big.
And they're a great producer. They're steady Eddie. They're like
Yeah,
really
they
good.
are reliable.
Yeah. Have you had any troubles with root rot, Julian?
With avocado,
Yeah.
absolutely. When you water them too much, when they get overly watered, they get root rot really easy, especially on a young tree, because they have limited root system.
Yeah.
So you got to be very, very careful how you water your tree. That's why I'm always preaching buy a moisture meter so you don't overwater your fruit trees, especially in the beginning. Once they get big, they can handle it.
Yeah. Yeah, so people are talking about, the old Miami history. There's a great book on the life of, what the hell was his name? Not Flagler. He's the one who started the Indianapolis 500. I'll think of his name in a minute. And he also was one of the early developers of Miami Beach. He was, Abraham Lincoln was one of his heroes. He named Lincoln Road, which was like the first residential street in Miami Beach after this guy. One of the islands up there is named after him. Of course, not Star Island.
It's not Brickell.
It's not Brickell.
It's not Biscayne.
No. But this guy, it's fascinating because his business was headlights for automobiles. Up to that point, you can only drive your car in the day. And so he started making headlights so you could drive your car at night. But do you know what the most limiting factor on the automobile industry was in the early days?
The roads.
Roads. There were no roads to drive them on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was a political activist getting the federal government to build the interstates and road systems. And he would go on these monster road trips, but like they'd have to like knock down farmers' fences and they would try to drive from the East Coast to the West Coast. God damn it, why can't I remember this guy's name?
Cutler.
No, I'll think of
man.
it. Actually, let me Google it.
Cutler, the Old Cutler Road was created by Old Man Cutler, which needed a pathway from his house in Cutler Bay, what they call Cutler Bay now, all the way to Coconut Grove to get materials for,
Carl Fisher, Fisher Island.
Fisher Island.
Carl Fisher. He wasn't even from here. But he started the racetrack in the Indianapolis 500. Then in World War II, he allowed the U.S. to use it as an air base. He allowed the government to use it as an air base. Fascinating life. Came down here to Florida, basically developed Miami Beach into residential neighborhoods. But I love that history of that early South Florida. Flagler, how the capital of Dade County, the county seat, was on Indian Key, a little tiny island down in the Keys, because we got around by boat back then, But it's just fascinating, and then how that dovetails into our industry with these old
Can you
families.
imagine? We had no bridges back then
Nothing.
either. All Key Biscayne, Biscayne Bay, all that had to be commuted by boat.
Yeah. And you brought up a name earlier from one of these avocados, the Chrome family.
Yeah, the Chromes.
Right?
And the Kendalls.
Okay, yeah. And so, it overlaps because they owned land and they came up with, cultivars of fruit weeds.
Yeah.
Fascinating history. It really is.
Yeah.
But yeah, Carl Fisher. So anyways, came up with all this stuff. His wife was the first one. She promoted the bikini. So, in them old timey videos, the chicks are in them like, it looks like they're going skiing rather than at the beach, And she was like known for being scandalous for promoting the bikini, which imagine if they came back to Miami Beach now.
Oh, wow.
Right?
They would have died.
Yeah. But anyways, all this entrepreneurial stuff, all this amazing activism, one of the things he wanted to do but was never able to do was I think he wanted to do a bridge from basically the tip of Key Biscayne to Key West. Like one long, never got that done. But anyway, died broke.
Fisher?
Yeah. He went through the Great Depression, the stock market crash, all that stuff, and fought back and lost and finally, like in his older life, just lost it all. Wow. Crazy story.
Well, all that land didn't mean anything because it was practically worthless back in the day. They would give away land. Come down here to Miami, move it with your family, we'll give you land.
Yeah.
We'll give you beachfront property.
One of his big challenges with his workers in Miami Beach when they were building the houses was snake bites. It was a pure swamp.
We have the deadliest, most poisonous snakes in the world are in Florida.
Yeah. Yep.
Starting with the coral snake.
Yep. We've killed two. Well, I killed one, and one I put on a shovel and I just threw him back out in the grove.
Red and yellow can kill a fellow. So if the first color is red and the second one has, because they're in rings.
Right.
So First one is red, second one is yellow, that one can kill a fellow.
And what if the first one's red and the second one's black?
They can live another day.
Safe for Jack.
Safe for Jack.
Red touches yellow, you're a dead fellow.
You're right.
Red touches black, safe for Jack.
Safe for Jack.
But you know what I say? If it's a snake, just don't F around with it at all.
No, I never mess
I don't care what color it is.
Yeah.
As I've said a million times, two things I refuse to F with.
Handle.
No, F with.
Yeah.
Snakes and condoms. Okay, Florida history was a 4th grade requirement in the 60s. John Sewell was the mayor. Jupiter, here in Jupiter, your entire property is already soaked like a sponge. You can't imagine adding another 8 to 12 inches. I know. Cupcake Betty, traffic light. If the colors are like a traffic light, that's danger. That's another good way to look at it. Yep.
Yeah, yellow is the bad color.
Yep. Cupcake Betty, Tom's got jokes today. Tom always has jokes. I'm just afraid of getting banned from damn YouTube for telling them. You know what I mean?
I doubt it.
Yeah, that's true. Julian, we've been going for quite a long time here.
Let's try a beta.
All right, let's eat this beta. We're gonna try another variety of avocado. Now, as we've said before in the streams, there's a little bit of a difference in my business model and Julian's business model. I'm a commercial fruit grower. I send fruit both wholesale to packing houses, which then gets sent to supermarkets and Walmart all around the country. And then I also have my retail business online, which is guacfarm.com, guacfarm.com. And one thing people always ask me for, Julian, is a variety box. And I normally can't do that for 2 reasons. Number one, avocados are early season, mid-season, and late season. I only need 1 or 2 of early, 1 or 2 of mid, 1 or 2 of late. I don't need a ton of varieties. And especially if I'm picking for a packing house who's selling to Walmart, they're not going to take a 1,000-pound bin with 50 different varieties in it. They're going to want all Monroe, all Choquette,
All uniform.
Simmons, all uniform, right? And I'm selling 12 bins at a time, 12,000 pounds, 16,000 pounds, what have you. So we pick 1 variety at a time, and I usually only have 1 variety, or maybe there's some overlap into another one at a time. Where you, on the other hand, Julian, is a nursery. You
With
need
a collection,
variety.
with a fruit tree collection.
With a collection. Julian sells trees. Well, you don't want to just sell 1 or 2 or 3 types of avocado. You want to sell as many types of trees as you can.
Well, I have them in the ground too. I have all these trees in the ground for the purpose of grafting them later.
Right.
I need to have the mother tree in my property so I can easily access budwood for grafting my trees.
Cloning, yeah.
And seeds too. I also need to plant a lot of seeds.
Yeah.
So the more avocado, it doesn't matter what kind of avocado.
Yeah.
As long as I have avocados to plant seeds, I'm good. So I have the seeds and I have the budwood in my collection
Yeah.
that I can use to make tree to sell to you guys. And the surplus of my fruit is what I sell. So having a collection, I have a wide variety to choose from, and I offer that to my customers in a 5-pound or 10-pound box of whatever avocado that's in season now.
Yeah. And that's why, like Julian, you're more likely to get a mix of cultivars in the same box.
Right.
With me, it's almost never. Now, every now and then, I might pick Miguel's on a Monday, Simmons on a Tuesday. If I have some Miguel's left over from the day before,
Right.
I'll put 3 of each in the box or
Right.
whatever fits, just because, people do like variety. Other times, and you know what, the funny thing is sometimes people complain to me. I wanted Simmons, you put 2 Miguel's in the box. So, it's tough to know, but most of the time I'm only shipping 1 variety at a time, which right now it's the Choquette, which heck, we might as well try one of those too.
Yeah, you should bring one. Want me to go get it?
Yeah, go grab that Choquette. Thank you, Julian. I was going to text my wife to get it. Grab a soda if you want one too. While you're
Where
in
they at?
In the fridge. Take whatever you want out there. So like right now I'm doing Choquette. If this was an on year for the Hall, I might have some overlap with Hall. This year happens to be an off year with the Hall. But the Choquette is a delicious variety. And the thing about the Choquettes, they grow to 3, 3.5, even 3, and the biggest one we've ever weighed, 3 3/4 pounds. And they're a delicious variety. Noah, you still got half of that Choquette out there, darling?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna try that one. So anyway, right now, if you were to go on guacfarm.com, guacfarm.com, and you were looking to buy avocados, no, maybe you're shopping for a hat or a shirt, which whatever, buy those. But if you're looking for avocados, right now I have Choquette. In another couple of weeks, I'll have Monroe. Where Julian, you might have more varieties for them to choose from.
Yeah, you just go on the website and click on avocado fruit, and you'll see the list of different avocados available to buy right now. And Catalina being one of them, Beta being one of them, Hialeah Red being one of them, and others I can't remember right now. But just go on there. It's very easy to use website for buying fruits and trees online.
Yeah, and I think it's a good idea, and Paul always says this from Fruitful Trees too, I think it's a good idea to taste a fruit once or twice before you plant that variety of tree.
Man, let me tell you, Paul sent a guy to my farm this week looking for avocado. He's like, oh, I'm sick of trying these Florida avocados and them being all watery.
Lawrence?
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I'm sick of eating all these avocados and they're all watery, no good. I'm eating Haas all the time. I was like, oh yeah, buddy? Oh, thank you.
Oh, no. Otra.
I'm like, oh yeah, check this out. And I gave him a slice of Catalina. He was like, oh yeah, oh man,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this is it, man.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Like, there you go. That's Florida avocados. That's
Yep.
the real
Yep.
West Indian avocado.
Yeah. Cool dude. I had a conversation with him on the phone, and I gave him directions to my place, and I was out picking, but I left my ringer on in case he got lost.
Yeah.
And he texted me, he was just leaving your place, and he goes, I want to beat the traffic home. It was about 3 o'clock probably right before you went to do your afternoon stuff.
Right.
And he goes, but it's cool, I got what I wanted at Lara.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, he was surprised.
Yeah.
And happy at the same time.
Did he buy a lot off you?
Oh, he just got one tree. I think he got a.
Oh, he got a tree.
Yeah, no, he got a Lara purple avocado.
Okay, because he wanted to buy 50 pounds off of me. And I was like, well, who do you sell to? Like, do you have a fruit stand? He's like, no, that's for me to eat. I'm like, that's a lot of avocado to eat.
Hey,
Yeah.
more power to him.
Hell yeah. Let's see here. What are your top 3 avocados? I'll go first. Lula. Hold on. I gotta think this one through.
Lula's there, huh? Lula's there, no, automatically.
I love Lula.
For you.
I love it, dude.
Yeah, Lula's good.
I love it.
What
and
do you think, wait a minute. What do you think about the Beta?
Good, not great.
Yeah, it's alright.
Good, not great. Not as good as the other ones we had today.
Yeah.
But good. Not. You know,
It kind of had a grassy taste.
It did. It had a little bit of a. Yeah, there was
a little bit grassy.
Yeah. Plus, I feel like it's a little hard to follow this Hialeah Red,
Yeah, it's hard. To follow. The Donnie is hard to follow.
the Donnie, and then the Haas. It's a little hard to follow those. Yeah.
And the Burner Girl is hard
Yeah.
to follow.
Yeah.
Catalina is hard to follow.
It is. Yeah. But Lula's always going to be my favorite. Simmons, Brogdon, maybe Atme in 4th. Atme might be taken over for Brogdon for me. I don't know yet.
Top 3.
It's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. For me, top 3, Ronnie. Ronnie has to be one of my top 3. Simmons and gosh, hard. Atme.
It's
Simmons,
so
and
good.
Ronnie.
Atme's good.
Atme, Simmons, and
Yeah.
Ronnie.
I just go nuts for that Brogdon though too. I love me a Brogdon.
Yeah.
Cupcake wants to know if that toothpick trick in water is the best way to start an avocado. It's not the best way. That's really like
I used to do it that way when I was a kid for like projects.
it's a high school biology thing to
It
show
works.
roots.
Yeah,
And
you put it in a glass
yeah.
with the toothpicks stabbed in there.
Yeah.
And to like be like just touching the water a little bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, that works to start it out. And then you put it in a small
Yeah.
pot.
But like this guy, he's gonna plant 3,000-4,000 avocado
Yeah.
seeds.
What I do is
at
I
a
get a
time.
table. I get a table about this big, and I put like a screen instead of plastic. I have a screen bottom, right, reinforced by some wood, and then I get like a 2x4, and then I put it all around the table, all around the edges, and I fill it in with some potting soil, some good, well draining potting soil.
Yeah.
And then I start planting my seeds one after the other, and I make whatever, 10 lines, 10 rows. And then they start popping, and when they start germinating and growing, I pull it out like a carrot, and I put it in a 1 gallon pot. And when they continue to grow, that's when I graft it.
Yeah. And I would say of a lot of things we can grow at home, particularly if you live in the right environment, the right climate, avocado wants to grow. So many people have shown me pictures of a tree that's 8, 9 years old now that they found in their mulch pile. You know what I mean? Yeah. That they threw in the backyard and, you know, threw the seed and it started to grow. Avocado wants to grow.
They want to live.
Yeah, so I don't think there's any magic to that toothpick water trick. I think that's just a way to show kids the biology of a tree, that you have roots and a sprout.
You can just put it straight in a 1 gallon pot.
Straight in a one. That's what I do.
Yeah.
You know.
And you got to know which way to plant it though, which direction.
Yes, you do.
You got to know where the root comes out.
Yeah. Rehan, you would really like to taste the atme. Is that something I'll be selling through my site? Not anytime soon. Eventually I will.
Yeah, you need to top work a portion of your grove with that.
I do. I think once you sort of level out on your sales and you've grafted all you can, if you have any left over, I'll do that.
Whenever
But
you want.
I
Whenever you
don't.
want.
There's no reason for me to get in the way of you creating actual trees.
No, there
right
won't
now.
be. There won't nothing.
You know what I'm
nothing-
saying?
That would impede me.
Yeah, but I'm patient about it. But yeah, eventually I'm going to grow the atme. There's no doubt about it. And I would absolutely
Well,
replace.
you can either grow it as top worked.
I would top work.
Top work.
I would absolutely top work.
We can start whenever you want.
Yeah, I have a ton of Donnies I want to top work.
We can get you bud whenever. you
Well,
want for
like
that.
I say, you got your orders to get out, and I'm not going to get in the way of that. Okay, Jeremy wants to, oh wait, hold on a second here. Gary, your favorites are Pollock, Lula, and Oro Negro. I love a nice Pollock too, and Lula's in there. I
Oro
haven't,
Negro is gold. Too.
I gotta try it, yeah, I gotta try one, yeah. Jeremy, which 2 avocados do you think pair best with an authentic Cuban dish?
You know, as long as they're, you know, Ronnie, Catalina, Simmons.
Yeah.
Those types are very, very well paired with Cuban dishes.
I will say that from my customer
Lula
base,
as well.
Cubans who've grown up in Miami, people of Cuban heritage,
Right.
who've grown up in Miami, who are now elsewhere, they often request the Donnie. They like the Donnie. They like the more mild.
Well, they're like watery avocado.
Yeah.
There's a market for that.
Greater good. You need to convince me to attend Mango Fest 2025. Okay. Twist my arm.
That's in West Palm Beach.
Twist my arm. Well, we got our thing going now with Fairchild.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's International Mango Festival.
Yeah. So we'll be probably coming up with some ideas to help them with their mango festival for next. We helped out a little this year, but the train had already left the station, I think, when we got on board.
Yeah.
But I think it was still a fun time.
Yeah.
And then we have some ideas, particularly with regards to getting more varieties of avocado there and stuff going forward for next year. Or
Well,
of
mango
mango for next year, yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll get a good crop this coming year.
Yeah. Joe Simpson likes Fuertejas and Lambjas. And then Carson Harmington, who is the same person as Joe Simpson, says, nice to catch us streaming. His farm is doing well, and it's nice to see the table filled with avocados. But he's the same guy. He's got like 10 different usernames.
Oh, yes, that's the
guy.
you're telling me about?
Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, I love him. I ain't gonna block him. Betty has no trees, but she's planning to change it. Okay, now here's one. Mary Gimpson, Marry Gimpson. I'm gonna say that's the same guy as Carson Harmington and Joe Simpson. I sort of know his fingerprint.
Yeah.
I know his fingerprint.
He's been probably blocked a lot of times and needs to have a lot
Yeah,
of...
but I don't block him. I just let it. I don't block anyone on my
But
page.
he's asking good questions.
Yes, he is. The toothpick method is a high school biology thing. Yeah. You're okay. Growing tropical in the UK. How are you doing, darling? I haven't seen you in a year. Although I have been watching your videos, and you're doing a really good job with those videos. And I'm not surprised at all that your favorite is the Sri Lankan avocado, which, if memory serves, are all grown from seed and produce fruit in 4 to 5 years. and you eat them sweet with sugar and condensed milk. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this is a...
That's what they do in the Philippines or Thailand.
Well, she's from Sri Lanka,
And with
and
ice.
this Growing Tropical in the UK has a great collection of she's got some from you.
Oh really?
Somehow or other, she got someone to buy. I think she got some varieties from you. She has discovered an avocado tree that's fruiting in London. It fruits. And she got some budwood from it and has done successful grafts in her backyard. I'm trying to think, in her latest video, she might have had some mulberry. Oh, apples. Not that they're tropical, but she actually grew some apples in her backyard. She's got a huge collection of succulents. And then whenever her family goes back to Sri Lanka, she has a whole laundry list of fruits and cuttings for them to bring back for her. And she's one of those people who's able to get, with extreme daily care, stuff to grow outside of what we would call the hardiness zone that's right for those. Here in America, we call it the hardiness zone, but outside of their normal climate. London is not really a place to grow mango or persimmon.
No.
She's doing it.
Right.
She grows grapes.
Well,
That's really
she
cool.
can bring them in the house when it snows.
Yeah. It's good to hear from you. And like I say, I've watched some of your videos lately. I thought it was really cool that you got that apple to grow. Okay, let's see who else we got here. And yeah, she's the one that encouraged me to try the avocado, and I did it. I didn't have any condensed milk, because the minute I bring a can of condensed milk into this house, my wife will open it and drink it right out of the can.
Yeah.
She loves it. She drinks it right out of the damn can.
Yeah.
But I took almond milk.
My cousins would do that too.
I took almond milk and sugar and made a shake. And it was the first time I ever had avocado in a sweet context.
I love avocado.
Yeah,
milk.
and it was because of Growing Tropical UK.
Now, avocado milkshake, milk, sugar, avocado, as much as you want, and here's the important part: a tablespoon of
Cream cheese. You taught me that.
for the avocado. And
Yes,
that
sir.
also works for mamey.
Oh.
My gosh.
You taught me that trick, and it
And
is
custard
amazing.
apple too. If you make a custard apple milkshake,
Yeah.
and you throw a tablespoon of cream cheese in there,
Yeah,
you'll never forget me.
yeah. And also, Growing Tropical UK, congratulations on I think you got a job promotion, if I ain't mistaken. Congratulations on that. What's our opinion on the Russell avocado? Top notch, and
Top
I
notch.
think you agree. Yeah, we both agree on that one.
Yeah.
Buttery, delicious,
Yeah.
really good producer.
Yeah.
For me, as a commercial fruit grower, the only downside is they're a little hard to handle because of their size and shape. They're hard, they don't fit in our standard boxes and stuff like that, which I think is a lot of the reason why you don't see them in supermarkets. But an excellent seller for me too. As soon as I put them up, they sell out. But I lost my Russell Grove. I was leasing a grove down south. It's a freaking housing development now.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah,
You don't have any here?
yeah. They didn't produce yet. I bought
Okay.
from you. I got like 8 Russells and Laras, both long necks.
Right.
And I put them in my back corner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
But they're too little to fruit yet.
Right, right.
Yeah.
It's gonna take some time. It's gonna
Yeah.
take some 20,
20, some agua, and some time.
Yep.
Let's see here. Are there any mangoes that are ready to pick? Gary's asking. I mean, there's a few people that still have some mangoes on the tree.
I had some Neelums the
Yeah.
other day. There was a few a lot on the tree, maybe like 10 Neelums on the tree the other day, and I went to go see it again the other day. They're all gone. Somebody picked it.
A person?
Yeah.
A neighbor?
I doubt it was a neighbor. It's probably either one of my workers or something happened.
They wouldn't do that to you, would they?
I don't know.
Shit.
You never know.
Well, someone sent me a picture. Can you tell me what these mangoes are? We just moved into our house and they were still on the tree. Before I even opened the picture, I was like, they're going to be kids. And they were. They were kids.
yeah,
that green lima bean, you know what I mean?
yeah, especially this time of the year.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, did I pick them too early? I'm like, hell no. If anything, you're right on time to a tad late.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we got a guy growing up in Minnesota, some tropical fruit. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
You know, I've sent tropical fruit trees to every state in the union,
Crazy.
except for Alaska.
Crazy.
49. Well, if you include Puerto Rico, there'll be 50.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's so great.
I think every single state in the union.
Yeah, it's really become a boom since the lockdowns. You know, people want to grow food at home. People are replacing their ornamental, their landscaping.
Well, I think TikTok and Instagram has really crossed over
Yeah.
into the mainstream, in the adult mainstream.
Yeah. Yeah.
Since the lockdown, and
Yeah.
that has brought in a lot of new viewers, new interest in the tropical fruit world.
Yeah.
And you can grow these things as long as you protect them from the cold. So, you know, you're in Minnesota, you want to grow mangoes, you got to bring that tree inside the house.
Yeah.
You know, during the winter, and then bring it back outside during the hot months.
Yeah. Yeah. Growing tropical. You missed me making you laugh. Well, I'm glad you're back on the stream and I'll make you laugh. The funny thing about you is I was going through some videos, you know, just scrolling through like Julian was just talking about, like TikToks and shorts. And all of a sudden I'm seeing like something and I hear this voice and I'm like, I know that voice. That's Growing Tropical UK. I think you took a little break because of, like I say, I think you had mentioned you had a job change. Good to see you're back in the game. Definitely one of those like tenacious people that can get stuff to grow. You know what I mean?
Right. Well.
Yeah. Cupcake Betty's hungry. Another question about Sapodilla. Would it work as a shake? Absolutely, Sapodilla works as a shake. In fact, Robert is here down here that's known for their shakes. Robert himself created a Sapodilla-based shake and had me taste test it last season.
How was it?
Fucking delicious, dude.
You know what? You know what I like to make my shakes with when it comes to. It's not really a milkshake. I just do it with instead of milk. You know what I use? Root beer.
Oh yeah, dude. I introduced my son and his friends to root beer floats with ice cream and stuff.
You can do like a Sapodilla.
Heck yeah.
You can do like a Sapodilla shake.
It'd be perfect with Sapodilla.
Yeah. So you get water, sugar, Sapodilla, and you put some root beer. Probably put like half a can of root beer in there. It's really good.
Yep. Let's see here. Okay. Julian, Growing Tropical UK is the lady that messaged you recently asking him about Subel white sapote, and she's waiting for it to come back in stock.
Oh, the Subel trees?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. We could come back anytime. Could probably come back end of the year or beginning of next year. Things come and go.
Yeah. And she's not going to forget you. She's very tenacious. Expect some follow-up messages until she gets what she wants.
All right.
Yeah. Jeremy, what do you like better? Jeremy is asking Julian, what do you like better, batido de mamey or mango? Batido is the Spanish word for shake.
The mamey.
I think mamey also.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
It just transforms into another animal when you make it into a milkshake, or when you freeze it.
It really is.
It really transforms.
Mamey is the only fruit I proactively freeze because I like the frozen version better than not frozen, even though I love it not frozen.
Right.
And even though this little double chin I have right now is because I ate.
That's your mamey chin?
It's a mamey chin. Yeah, I've since I started picking in January, I ate like a half a mamey a day right up till like the end of August.
Yeah,
I love it.
I like eating mangoes out of hand. I don't like really processing them much. I just like to rather eat them with a spoon and out of hand. But mamey, I would prefer it in a milkshake, depending on the variety. Now, if it's a paste, I would rather eat it out of hand because it's very dense and kind of like avocados, how we like it dense and sticks to your throat and all that stuff. Yeah, that's how this mamey is.
Yeah,
the paste.
Well,
and others.
Yeah, if you were to go look at a lot of my YouTube videos too, when I'm talking about mango, if I'm making a mango salsa or something, I try to keep it minimal, and so that the mango flavor's there.
Right, you don't want to cover up the mango.
Yeah, but to me, it's almost sacrilege to use mango as an ingredient because I like it unadulterated. Unadulterated.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's almost a sin.
Yeah,
I just orange sherbet and make a smoothie with it.
It's just so good on its own.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Or Julie.
Like you really can't make it better.
No,
you
can't get a Julie and turn it into a milkshake. You're just better off eating it.
Yeah.
Out of hand.
Okay, Sirasuki wants to know if I prefer macaque or Silas Wood. I think you typed Silas White, Silas Wood. Julian, you may differ from me. I don't know if I was blindfolded, if I could tell the difference between the two.
Yeah, you can tell. the
Could I?
difference. Yeah, you could.
Okay, I've never had two.
Silas Wood is bigger. It's a bigger sapodilla.
Oh, it is? Oh, I thought that was a small one also.
No,
Oh.
it's a bigger sapodilla.
What's the other small one?
Other small one? Alano.
Oh, okay.
Alano.
All right.
And Alano, well, Silas Wood is a little bit bigger than Alano, although Alanos can get big.
Okay.
The macaque is the smaller of sapodilla, maybe about that big.
Yeah.
But they're all very good, all
Yeah.
very sweet. Silas Woods is definitely distinguishable.
Okay,
to the
then
macaque.
I thought I tasted Silas Wood, but it might have been an Alano when we were up at Truly Tropical and Paul shook the tree. That day it was rainy.
It was probably an Alano. Oh
Okay.
yeah, it was an Alano.
It was an Alano?
That was at Alex's.
Okay.
Tropical Acres.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, was it Alano or Silas? No, it was a Silas Woods.
It was Silas Wood?
Yeah, it was a Silas
Okay.
Woods. Yeah.
But it to me it looked a little, because it was kind of, it had that sort of dwarfishy, like outwardly
Yeah, it was
growing.
growing, leggy.
Yeah, leggy, yeah, okay. I can't wait. And what I do with, also, they're talking about making shakes with sapodilla. I make jam.
Oh yeah, I've had your.
And
jam.
I,
I've had your jam.
it is good.
Yeah.
Oh, is it good? Yep. Greater Good turns down a stupid amount of money for his home all the time. Yeah, that's what it's like living here in South Florida.
Well, my neighbors, selling their home for $1 million.
Shit, yeah, it's
acre
crazy.
acre and a half.
Yeah, some people recently sold over here. It's insane. It's insane.
But I hear the bubble's coming down. I heard
Yeah.
that prices are coming down.
Yeah. Want to try one of these choquettes?
Sure.
Okay. So now here, this variety is called choquette. I just happen to have a half of one because my wife ate the other half this morning. One thing that stands out right away, the skin is a lot more brittle than what we've been peeling. You know, these other skins have been kind of.
That's the Guatemalan coming out.
Is that what that is?
Yeah,
Okay.
Guatemalans are not easy to peel.
Yeah. So you see, this is almost like a thin leather.
Yeah.
These are almost more like a wet cardboard. You know, they're not going to peel.
Yeah.
And you got to watch because you can get them like up in your gum too. If I've done that where I accidentally left it on the fruit, they're crispy. Now the fruit itself is going to be a lot more creamy than some of the other varieties we had today. Now I found the Hylia Red to be creamy, and the Choquette.
You know, this has really good flavor.
It does, yeah. And it's light like the Hylia Red. So some of the other varieties we've been saying are more of a dense. This is more of a light, and I would normally let this ripen another day or two to where you couldn't even do this because it'll like fall over on itself. It's so creamy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But my wife loves these. She wanted one for breakfast this morning, so she ate half, and we're eating half now.
Choquette.
Choquette is a very, very popular commercial variety down here.
It sure is.
Yeah.
It's a very important variety. It makes fruit all the way. It can stay on the tree all the way to February.
Yeah, they're good. Standoff Mandarin, what's up? How you doing? What happened after Hurricane Helene? We are very south of it. I had a few trees knocked over. I had one knocked over in my driveway. I had to cut down.
You had an uprooted one?
It wasn't uprooted. It just
So
a
a
big
branch?
branch
Oh,
came down. A big old branch from my jujube, which is loaded with flowers right now. Big old branch came down, and then I had a few branches down in the grove. But you got to understand, they got a couple 100 pounds of Monroe avocados hanging off them. So, you know, all day wind blowing is going to get some of the weaker ones. We have branches blown down all the time in thunderstorms and stuff like that. It was a non-event for us.
No, it wasn't.
Devastating for the people in Asheville and North
Wow.
Carolina. Just
Well,
makes me
and
sick.
the Big Bend where it went in. It went in as a Category 4.
That too. That rectified dude, the Bangkok tastes good. Carlos Jr., top 3 best tasting mangoes. Oh, that's right. I know.
We did
I know.
avocados.
We did avocados. You got mangoes for this guy, Carlos Jr.?
top 3 best mangoes.
Mm-hmm.
I always like Gary. I always love lemon meringue, and the ambrosia that we tried
That was
this year.
good.
We gotta put that on there.
That was so good. Yeah, I think the ambrosia's up there for me. The white Perry's up there
Oh
for
yeah,
me.
white berry.
And I love the Gary. Since
Yeah.
you turned me on to that Gary, I love it.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan of the Valencia Pride, which I know is like more run of the mill.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I don't know. It just reminds me of when I first moved to Florida.
Well, it's like, look, we have so many good mangoes. Like, for example, Glen mango. It's like, oh, it's just Glen. It's just a Glen. It's no big deal. But let me tell you, man,
I think they're delicious.
That's a freaking phenomenal mango.
I think they're delicious. Yeah.
It was the cutting edge mango back in the 90s.
Yep.
And I shipped out some Glens. I sold a little bit of Glens this year.
Yeah.
And the people that got them, I got feedback. And that feedback was just unbelievable. The best mango I've ever had. Can I get more? Please. What is this mango? I've never had anything like this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? Glen? Yeah,
Yeah.
Glen. Because it's really that good. We're spoiled.
We're spoiled down here.
We're spoiled.
Yeah.
We really are.
Yeah.
We've really have.
Yeah.
We've really been blessed with all the different varieties
Yeah.
available here in South Florida because we're in the tropics.
Yeah.
And we're able to grow these things, and we're able to go to places where they grow these things.
Yeah.
And we really have it all.
Yeah. Yeah. For us, this would be the equivalent if you were into wine and you lived like in the Sonoma or whatever that's called out there in California,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I find about people who try our sort of fresh picked and shipped mango. In other words, it hasn't been chilled, it hasn't been gassed.
Right. That's another thing. You're getting it straight from the grower.
Straight from the grower.
You're getting
right?
it straight. The avocado straight from. There's no middleman.
Which is a lot like your tomatoes you grow in your backyard. Why can you grow tomatoes in your backyard better than farmers who do it professionally, and you're buying it from companies who have multi-billion-dollar investments in their produce departments, right? The reason is the logistics. You can just pick it off the vine, take it in your house and eat it. It's the same with our mangoes, and you think like even like California, who doesn't allow us to send them there. They basically have Asian imports that were picked all the way around the globe, picked too early, or they get them from Mexico, which is that yellow one, the orange one. It looks like a small Atulfo.
Atulfo or the champagne.
Right.
That's the same thing.
Yeah, which I've had them off of a tree here. Delicious. When I buy them in the supermarket, it's like
Picked
it ain't
early.
even the same fruit.
Picked early.
Yeah.
But
And they're sad. They're sorry. Like when you let them.
skin gets wrinkly.
The skin gets wrinkled.
Yeah,
Exactly. So even if we
Well, you're
send.
supposed to eat them when the skin gets wrinkly.
Yeah, but they're not the.
Well, it's not the same
It's
as.
not gonna blow
as
your
tree
mind.
ripe.
Dude. It's not gonna. You send a Valencia Pride.
Yeah.
Day 6 off the
Yeah,
tree, it's gonna blow your mind.
Yeah.
And we ain't even talking what you just said, Gary, or what in my case, white Perry, lemon zest,
Ambrosia.
oh my God, Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Jujube is taken off with a second bloom. Okay, that's good. I love the Jujube. Do you sell Jujubes?
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah. I sell the fruit and the trees.
I love them. We get a year.
And I got a thornless one.
Oh, you do?
From Taiwan.
Oh wow.
That makes an A-size fruit.
Yep.
And that's the Taiwanese giant they call.
Yeah.
And that was phenomenal.
Yep. Okay. Mojo just wondered if you opened up a choquette a little early. Tell me this, Mojo. What day did you get it? If you got it this week, you opened it up early. If you got it last week, you were right
You
on
gotta be
time.
able to stick your thumb inside of it.
Yeah.
If you can, if it yields to slight pressure, it's ready to eat.
Where like if you're gonna go any further, you might damage it. Then it's ready to go.
If you can dig your nail into
Yeah.
it, then it's ready. Well, yielding to slight pressure is pretty much what you look for.
Yeah. You're right, Betty. It's easy to be an aficionado when you live where we live. It's the same with me being coming from Pennsylvania, right? And I lived in Philadelphia for a while, in the suburbs of Philadelphia. I walk into these places, authentic Philly cheesesteak. I'm like, yeah, okay. You know what I mean? Okay, whatever.
Oh, you gotta start watching this one bite pizza guy.
You told me about him. I gotta try him out.
Forgot his name. He does the Barstool Sports?
Yeah, the sports guy. Yeah,
that guy.
Yeah, okay.
The guy with the beard.
Yeah.
And the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes to pizza places all over the country.
Oh yeah.
And he evaluates the pizzas.
Wow.
From 1 to 10. And the highest score he's ever given is a 9.4 to this New Haven style pizza up there in New Haven and in Connecticut.
I've heard Connecticut is known for having good pizza.
Yeah, 9.4. I think it was in Connecticut. It's
Wow.
a New Haven style pizza in Connecticut.
Wow.
I got the 9.4. That's the best pizza that he likes. No flop on the pizza. Okay, and crunchy.
Yeah.
And not too greasy. And that guy just goes to place after place after place, knocking down,
Dude.
you know, if they're good or bad.
Yeah, I used to get a pizza. He's still in business. Nicholas Pizza in Scranton, Pennsylvania, where I grew up, and he made everything there from scratch. His dough, everything. It was an old fashioned. My grandmother used to eat there,
Yeah.
and then he inherited it from his father-in-law.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Do you know his pizza tasted different in the summer than it did in the winter because of the feed that the cows ate who produced the cheese that he used? Because he sourced all this stuff locally.
Right.
And I can't remember what season, but either in the summer or in the winter, his pizza was more greasy because of what the cows were eating that made that's how real, like that's how from scratch this guy's
Little
pizza
things.
was so
What little things make a
so
difference.
good. Yes, okay, Mojo, if you got your avocados from me this week, I only just picked those choquettes on Monday. This I picked last week.
Yeah.
And it's even still a tad early. If you are eating ones from this week, it's definitely too early. Give them another 3-4 days.
Yeah. Wait till they get soft.
Wait till they get soft,
Then you
yeah.
can stick your finger in them.
Yeah. Here's an interesting one, Julian. This guy, Jupiter Mojo, used to live right off the Blue Route in Havertown. So the Blue Route, imagine if when you were a teenager, they built a section of I-95 from, say, Fort Lauderdale to where it ends now, right? At US 1 there in Miami, right? And then just gave up on the project and never connected it anywhere. And then Mother Nature starts coming in, and it was a rollerblading and bicycle thing for like 20-something years. They never finished the Blue Route. Abandoned. 496, I think it was. 476, I think it was, right? Route 476. Now, since then, they've finally come back and finished it and fixed it up. But for years,
It was just a skater's
people be
paradise.
spray painting on the, yeah.
Graffiti and spray,
Yep.
and spray painters
Yeah.
and skate rollers.
Yeah, and then after like 2 decades or whatever the heck it was, they refunded it and finished it. That's cool, Jupiter. Daily life on a vineyard. Oh, interesting. What vineyard are you at? What part of the world are you in? Long Island pizza is the best. I hear that's good. Cupcake Betty's glad she's not too fussy over pizza. Yeah, I slammed a whole frozen pizza last night.
Easy to eat.
Yeah, I
They
slammed.
taste really good,
Yeah.
and they go really fast. We bought a frozen pizza the other day. I think it was a DiGiorno's
Yeah, they're good.
from Walmart.
Yeah,
And they're like, "Oh, we'll save you a slice." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever."
yeah.
It was gone when I
Yeah.
came back from the farm. It was
Exactly.
gone.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
wife and my daughter.
Yeah.
Slammed it.
Yeah. So we're at the 3-hour mark. We probably ought to wrap
We
up.
are?
We are.
3 hours already?
It's 4:02, dude.
Oh my god.
It's 4:02.
And it stopped raining.
Yeah, yeah. So get a couple more questions in and we'll start winding down. But what did we do today? We talked a little bit about, we talked about some inspiring stories, some fruit growing stories, which happened to involve me and Julian by accident. Like neither of us even coordinated on these things. We talked about the young family with the kid with the health issues, and his dad's going to start growing now, and he bought a bunch of Julian's trees, and that's going to be a decades long thing for them. We talked about little Diego out in Texas who got gosh, if memory serves, it might have been a Glen mango tree, which I got from Julian. This is before you and I really knew each other, and I passed it along to him. We talked about some different varieties of avocado. We talked about the history, of the Hall and the family of the Hall.
And the history of the Haas.
The history of the Haas, yeah. And even this, what I call a choquette, what Paul calls a choquette. And what the family...
And I tell Paul all the time, Paul, it's choquette, because, you know what I mean.
Well, the family called me just like Nancy Hall reached out to me to tell me, no, it's choquette.
Oh, it's choquette.
That's how they told me to pronounce it.
Cogshaw is not pronounced Cogshaw. It's pronounced Cogsaw.
Which is what this guy James said on the first call. He said it that way, Cogsaw. I didn't know that. I thought it was cogshell or cogshell.
Coggshall is always is written,
Yeah,
but it's pronounced not with a C. It was a SH. It's pronounced with a.
it's like two words, like cogs.
Saul,
Like
with
if
no
a guy
H.
named Cog had a hall, avocado, it would be Cogs Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Coggsaw.
Cogsall.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, didn't know that.
But it's written Coggshall.
Okay,
So
yeah.
it's a hard one to enforce.
Yeah, and we answered a bunch of questions, and so we'll just answer what's left, and then we'll say goodbye, y'all. So, awesome stream. Rick wants to know, why would anyone eat a pizza? I'm not even gonna dignify that question with an answer. That's the same as someone telling you don't like watermelon. Get out of my house.
Yeah.
If you don't like watermelon.
No pomegranates.
A couple compliments, awesome stream. We had fun. Thank you for that. And Rick has been listening while planting avocado seeds. That's awesome, Rick.
Well, we wanted to be a hybrid between entertainment and enlightenment.
Yeah, and we're only going to get better. I'm going to have a musical guest one of these days. Cupcake Betty, good luck on the seedlings. You don't got to wish this guy good luck. He's an expert.
Thank you.
You guys have done there are literally tens of thousands of trees in backyards, might even be in the hundreds of thousands.
Let me tell you, I've spread
because of you and your family.
I have spread a lot of trees throughout this great country.
Yep.
And it's continue to do so. I mean, there's people getting butterscotch sapodillas in places it would normally never go to.
Yep. And so, and we thank you also. And with that, we'll say goodbye, and we'll be back in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
All right.
In a couple
Bye,
of weeks.
everyone. Thank you. We'll be back to talk about sapodilla in a couple weeks.
Yeah, or whatever.
Yeah.